Alrighty. We should be live. Should be live. Just doing some last minute things here. Hello, hello. And that. Hello, hello. Welcome. Welcome to the stream. My name is Evan Freiberger, and today we're going to be covering the severe weather threat out over here in Alabama. And we got some wind coming into Columbia right now. And we also have a couple of storms that are actually already starting to get some rotation to them. We have one over here northwest of Camden. Probably a little bit of side lobe contamination there, but there is probably a little mesocyclone trying to develop on that guy. And then back over here, we have another area of what appears to be maybe some side lobe contamination there, but generally some rotation is probably in that storm as well. Another little area of rotation here, north and east of Selma. And then, yeah, also got some storms trying to develop back down over here, south of Chatham, where our forcing is definitely a lot weaker down here. So we're probably going to be talking about mainly isolated and small supercells down here into southeast or western Alabama. But yeah, generally overall, I've been monitoring the environment out across the pond here. I guess not across the pond. This is technically in my area. Let's come over to here really quick, and let's check out our mesoscale environment right now. You can see that we do have winds near the surface coming out of the south, this to the northwest. So we do have a little bit of backing at the surface, or a decent amount of backing. We have our instability that is rising up to the north, slowly but surely here at 1,000 joules per kilogram, really mainly in central Alabama, going all the way down into southern Alabama there. Our lower level lapse rates are continuing to improve right now. We have 7 to 6 lower level lapse rates along these storms that are a little bit further south. Those are the storms that we initially saw there with a little bit of rotation, maybe that side lobe contamination. That's where these storms are sitting right now. In terms of our wind shear in the 850 millibar range, you can see that we are coming out of the south, going up to the northeast, and also in our 500 millibar range, we're coming out of the west, kind of up to the northeast. So a little bit, you know, but there is a little bit of perpendicularity in some of these wind barbs. So it's not completely parallel like we saw yesterday. There is a tiny bit of perpendicularity there. So definitely got to, you know, keep an eye on these storms. One of the things that are going to be maybe a fly in the ointment today is going to be our forcing. You can see we don't really have a whole lot of pink bubbles here on the on our wrap analysis here for Alabama. This is our 300 millibar pattern. So a lot of our winds in the 300 millibar range are kind of going in the same direction. You know, you're mainly looking for winds to come up to the north and east, and then down to like the just directionally east or a little bit southeast to have a little bit more forcing. But we really don't have a whole lot of forcing right now. So that's going to be one of our main flies in the ointment there, other than, you know, a little bit less perpendicularity than you would typically want to see for a storm like this. And another fly in the ointment today that we're going to be monitoring is our mid-level lapse rates. You can see where our storms are hanging out right now. Our mid-level lapse rates are a little low. The updrafts are going to somewhat struggle, but, you know, we can still see these storms have mergers and then all of a sudden try to spit out some more dangerous rotations. And so we're going to be monitoring that as well here in the short term. Welcome, welcome. But yeah, that is today's conditional. Yeah, I would say it's a little bit conditional. Yeah. But I would say, honestly, less conditional than yesterday. It seems like we have a little bit more of a tornadic environment today than yesterday. Yeah. How much snow are we expecting in southeast North Dakota? So if we come over here we'll have to go to Radar Omega, look at our HRRR model here. What'd you say? Southeast North Dakota. Okay. So I'm guessing somewhere around Fargo. So yeah, that snow should be falling right now. Let me check our national radar here. Winter weather. Yeah, I mean, it does seem like there is some snow happening up into mainly Yeah, over there near Fargo, Wahpeton, Hankinson, Wheaton, Agency Village, Watertown, Clear Lake area. Some snow is starting to pick up. Some pretty heavy snow probably out there right now. And yeah, so we are going to be watching for that potential today at 2 to see, just how much snow we can actually end up getting. Why does this look so funky? Let me see if I can switch the winter weather radar settings here. Color tables, reflectivity. That looks kind of funky too. Hyper? That looks just as weird. Default? Why does it look weird? That's odd. I don't know what's going on with that. I'm gonna do a refresh. Huh. Interesting. A little weird color on this radar, but generally you get the picture. The blue is the snow, the green is the rain, and we're getting snow up there right now. I think for your guys' area, you could expect anywhere from like 4 to 7 inches up there. Hello. Where's Blondie? Maybe not here yet. Hello, Sonia. Welcome. Could you update Alabama? Just tuned in. Yeah, for Alabama, we are in a slight risk for severe weather. Looks like they have moved northern Alabama mostly out of that risk and a lot of Tennessee, but we do still have, a marginal risk that extends into like Huntsville, Rome, Georgia, Peachtree City, Georgia, Columbus, Georgia. I think that's, Columbus, Georgia, Dothan, talking to Alabaster, Birmingham, Fayette, Jasper, Greenville, Andalusia, Columbia, Slidell, and then we have a slight risk here for Selma, Montgomery, Monroeville, Demopolis, Meridian, York, Etowah, Alabaster, Laurel, Hattiesburg, and Meridian there in Alabama. And the main reason why that is because we have a 5% for tornadoes. Our damaging wind potential and our hail potential is going to be relatively low today. And the reason why we have a slight risk is because we do have a 5% for tornadoes. And, looking at our we just looked at our mesoscale data, and it does seem like, especially like these storms in this sector right here, could have some elevated tornado potential here early on. And we're already seeing multiple areas of some potential rotation. It's kind of hard to tell how much of that is side lobe and not. But the bottom line is we got to watch out for these storms that are firing kind of near the Selma area, Valley Grande, near Camden as well, to see if these storms are going to have any tornadic potential to them. So it does seem like the environment is lining up for some of that to happen, especially for like a storm like this, but that it is just kind of on the leading edge of that instability. Could potentially, try to develop some rotation there. There is enough shear for that. And then further down to the south, these storms are sitting in a little bit lower mid-level lapse rates. But again, we're expecting that to improve throughout the day. And then as we go into the nighttime hours, we're going to be expecting those lapse rates to really crash after we get into about 4 to 5 p.m., which will make a difference in terms of how many tornadoes we could potentially see, because these aren't going to be very robust thunderstorms today. So if you get really any fly in the ointment in the thermodynamics, we're going to see these smaller storms start to fall apart. The Camden storm is not side slop. Let me see the Camden. Okay, this one, yeah. I mean, we do have what appears to be a little bit of side lobe contamination, definitely right there. But right here in this area, you can see there is a little area there that is lining up to some of our precipitation. So that could be a legitimate area of rotation developing there. So got to keep an eye on that area. We have a storm chaser in Selma, but I don't think they're live right now. We have Carmen, who usually chases in Illinois, has come all the way down to the southeast. He's going to go live at 12:15. We also have Brett Adair that is over near Birmingham, but his feed went down just a little while ago. But I'm sure it'll come back up when stuff starts happening. Let me just double check to see if he's got that back going yet. No, he has not. You're getting snow in southeast North Dakota, wet, heavy snow, and 25-mile-per-hour winds with 40-mile-per-hour winds gusts. Yeah, there's some pretty gusty winds up there. One of the things that I did want to try to do is see if we can at least get one snow cam up here, at least initially. Probably getting some pretty decent snow in like Aberdeen, South Dakota. Oh my gosh, yeah. Let me see. What about over here near Coalbridge, near Sioux Falls? Actually, not a whole lot happening near Sioux Falls. I am curious. Let me just check the traffic cameras in like around the Fargo area. See if we've got any actual live feeds out of there. No, there is some snow starting to accumulate though in Fargo. It's kind of a dusting right now. So nothing. I don't have any live cams in Fargo, unfortunately. Let me check South Dakota and see how well our traffic cam network is in South Dakota. It'd be like up in northeastern South Dakota. Yeah, a bunch of picture cams in South Dakota as well. But I can show you guys some of these pictures. You can see that we are getting a little dusting here in northeastern South Dakota as well. And yeah, it's probably looks like there's probably some decent winds. You can tell by these little areas in between these pylons how they're like streaming out like that. That usually happens when you have snow blowing in the wind. Yeah, unfortunately, not many good cams up there in the South Dakota area. Let me come up here a little bit further up to the north and see. I know we have some live Minnesota cams, so that might be where we can at least see the most snow today. Yeah, it's not quite in Minnesota. Not quite in Minnesota yet. Sideways snow, yes. It's probably going to be almost a strictly sideways snow regimen up there, given the fact that we're going to have some pretty darn strong winds. Let me see if we have any snowfall reports to report on. Yeah, look at this out over into mainly going into like southeastern North Dakota. Potentially a 6.7 inch report there already. 6.1 inch report over there near Killdeer, North Dakota too. And we're starting to get some reports out of like Foreman, North Dakota, Westport, South Dakota with 3 inches there. The winter so far right now over the past 24 hours is 6.7 inches and Edgeley, North Dakota. .7 has to be fabricated. Oh no, here we go again. Here we go again. Since we're already on the subject. Also, the lapse rates are going to be in between 6 and 7 as well in southern Alabama. It just had to happen. It's going to happen. I mean, I guess it's just a common number to say. I don't know, especially in the weather world, I guess. But yeah, that's the latest across the way, across the United States in terms of what kind of weather we're going to be expecting today. You know, where's that wind and that snow falling right now? It's back up over here, mainly into South Dakota and North Dakota, right in this little pocket. And again, that's going to be moving into Minnesota here in a little bit. If we come over to our models here, but come over to the HRRR. You can see that throughout the day today. Let me go to the 12Z because that came out not too long ago. You can see that this snow is eventually, very heavy snow is going to be moving into central Minnesota, eventually kind of pushing through Minneapolis. Maybe not as strong as snow, but definitely still going to have some pretty strong winds at this point. If I come over to the 10 meter or the 10 meter wind gust, look at this. I mean, we're going to be talking about 40, 50, maybe potentially up to 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts. With this snow. So definitely cannot rule out some blizzard warnings later on today. Visibility is definitely going to be dropping pretty low. It's going to be pretty darn dangerous to drive out there. And then as we continue to push this forward, you can see that our snow is eventually going to start to move into eastern Minnesota. Unfortunately, you can't really see the state lines too well because Radar Omega hasn't been giving me state lines. I don't know why they're still gone. I messaged the guy that owns Radar Omega, and he still hasn't fixed them. But as we move into tomorrow afternoon, we are going to start to see some pretty heavy snow over here for Michigan as well. And that's going to continue for a pretty long portion of the day there. And, you know, got to watch out for those wind gusts here as well, because as they stream off of the lake here, we could see some very strong wind gusts, potentially up to 60, maybe even some isolated spots there of 65-mile-per-hour wind gust heading into Muskegon and Holland. These could also prompt blizzard warnings out there and maybe even some power outages. So going to be potentially strong enough winds for some power outages up there as well. Not too much snow accumulation initially here for Michigan, but as I push this forward, you can see that there could be some isolated spots of potentially 4 to 5, maybe near Traverse City, up to 8-9 inches, potentially possible. Potentially possible. And then up here, these are definitely going to be the winners up here, potentially over a foot, maybe over 2 feet of snow possible up here in the UP of Michigan near Ironwood. But yeah. Bottom line is, this is going to be a winter storm, a powerful winter storm for the very far northern reaches of our country here. And, you know, we might even see snow come as far south as maybe like Cleveland and Akron as we go into tomorrow at around 3 p.m. Not sure if that's going to really stick and turn into any, you know, actual accumulation, but it is something to at least look forward to if you want to see some snowflakes out there. And then after the 27th, we're really going to start to get into that lake effect snow regimen as those winds, those stronger winds we've been talking about with this storm, start to wrap around that low pressure system and around the southern portion of that low pressure. And then, you know, we really start to see those winds pick up as well. If I can freaking find them. There. As this pushes in to the area, I mean, we could have another round of 50 to 60 mile per hour wind gusts over there near Buffalo and Bativa. So multiple opportunities here, in my opinion, for some blizzards to happen. Get back up that national radar here. Winter weather. There we go. But yeah, that's what we're talking about there for the winter weather for today. It's going to be pretty hectic up there. It's going to be a definitely a storm to reckon with. It's not going to be for everybody. It's going to be pretty isolated areas, but the people that do get those strong wind and snow impacts are definitely going to feel it. 50-month milestone? I mean, a 35-month milestone? But yeah, thank you, Lola. For the 35 months being a member. That, golly, you are approaching, you're 1 month off from 3 years being a member on this channel. Huge shout out to Lola. It's crazy. That is crazy. She was the first channel member on the channel, which is, you know, much appreciated. Hasn't been too active lately, but, you know, I do appreciate it when you come through and say hello. Always good to catch up with the, with some of the OGs of the channel. Storms are starting to fire. Yeah, they are. They are starting to fire out here. We do have a couple of areas of rotation here north of Camden, also south and east of Selma as well. Back over here near Maplesville, south of Billingsley as well. A couple areas of some rotation there. Maybe even some broader circulation south of Talladega Springs as well. None of these are quite consolidating into a tornado or tornado warnable circulation yet, but definitely still enough to keep an eye on. Further down to the south here, not seeing these storms really mature into anything yet. It seems like our most favorable storm, I would say, for some tornado potential is right here near Selma, and then south of Alabaster and Birmingham could also make an argument there that we could see some tornadoes there as well. You really need some snow like now? Aren't you like near, are you still near like Madison? I think Madison might get missed. We'll see. Let me just double check. I could be. I don't remember, to be honest. Let's see. Where's Madison at? Let me change this to 12Z. Oh, yeah, look at that. The snow comes really close to Madison. And then let me push this forward one more frame. Oh, and then the storm just disappears right before it hits Madison. Darn. That's unfortunate. Ugh. Can't imagine that happening. Bummer. You know, maybe next time. Maybe next time, Lola. Maybe next time. Per maybe. Bean shapes foreshadow prominent tornado potential in the near future. I can, yeah. I mean, with the environment that we do have, I would agree that bean shapes in our current environment do mean something. Man, look at this storm. Area of rotation, really trying to get its act together there. Let me make sure that old Breda Dare isn't back on the Breda Air. That was dumb. I tried there. I tried. Yeah, he's still not live. He'll be live later, folks. He's a really good storm chaser. He's like Alabama's Reed Timmer. Probably the GOAT in Alabama. He doesn't chase as much as he used to, but whenever something happens here locally, he's always on it. Brett aware? Brett is Adair. Where is Brett? That's a good question. Brett is in southern Birmingham right now. So he's like over here near Hoover, traveling on 65. It's probably going to be targeting some of these storms that are firing a little bit further to the south, as these ones are definitely in a little bit better of an environment. But this one right here is looking like we could be close to our first tornado warning, at least of this second round. That's pretty darn close. This will be heading towards Gold Branch and Unity. If you live near Gold Branch and Unity, I'd be keeping an eye on this storm as it approaches. And Brett Adair is back live according to some sources. Sources being his website. Let's see if it's right. Oh, it says the streams are intended for mature audiences. So sorry. There's like probably like 95% of our chat needs to look away. Oh. Okay, it's not working. It lied. Don't take it personally. I promise that was a joke. You have school. Let's check on our latest here. Yeah, this storm back over here near Orville still has a broader area of circulation. Moving up to the north and east, going to be coming into Orville pretty soon. Kind of looks like it might. Yeah. Probably going to go directly into Selma. So Selma really needs to be keeping an eye on this storm, as that it'll give this storm, by the time it gets to Selma, this storm would have had a little bit more time to get that organized, or that organization potentially better than what it already is. You occasionally adult? Yeah. Hey, Mary. What am I thankful for? Sanity. And that I exist. I really think people get too caught up in life to realize just how friggin' lucky it is that you exist. Like just you being present and knowing that you're present is like a 1 in a quadrillionth chance. Like way higher likelihood of you being like a bacteria or a single-celled organ or multi-celled organ, like a smaller organism. Yeah. Better chance of you just being a piece of dirt, to be honest. There's a lot of dirt pieces out there. Do you really know that you exist? Yes. Now, do we really know that you're actually conscious? No. You could be conscious. You could be controlling everything that you are doing right now. Or the part that we think is consciousness is just the last piece of our brain that our primary functions go through. And what's actually initiating them is our subconscious, and our conscious has no control. Although we feel like we have control because our brain is the last, our brain is the last, or we could be like what we think is consciousness could be just the last little monitor for our thoughts. Out of every species, you were born as a human. Not even just as every species, out of every species in the universe, you were born as a human. Like, we've looked around. We don't see any signs of intelligence anywhere. We do see maybe some chances for some bacteria. The latest little scan over here near Gold Branch, still keeping a close eye on this storm. It's a little mini supercell, still with a decent little area there of some rotation heading into Unity. Keeping a close eye on that storm. Would not be surprised if that rotation gets a little bit stronger that we might see a tornado warning with that. Not quite at that point to where I'm concerned about it, but there's definitely enough rotation here south of Talladega Springs, Alabama, that I am going to be keeping a close eye. Like a really close eye. Jazzy. Are you okay, Mubbas? Carmen is live. He is live. Carmen is live, folks, in Selma, Alabama. He is live. Thank you, Jefferson and Mary, for becoming a WIMD member. You're going to be pledging a whole 99 cents of support every month, and that is a huge help to a creator like me that doesn't take any sponsorships or shoves ads down your throat. We make about 10 times less than everybody else because of that decision, but you know, I'm not going to be selling t-shirts during tornado warnings or trying to sell you a radar program during tornado warnings. It's not what I want to do with my life. I don't want to be a salesman. I want to be that guy that like just tells you the weather. Believe it or not. Poll on your favorite Thanksgiving food. Well, I would have to know the different types of Thanksgiving foods. For my entire life, I have only ever eaten turkey. So, I don't know. All right, latest scan on this storm over here south of Unity. Looks like our rotation is actually getting a little bit broader than it was before. That's a good sign. Hopefully, that means it's kind of outrunning that instability there. Looking back at some of our other storms. Little area of rotation right here south of Maplesville. Starting to get a little bit stronger there. Keeping an eye on that. And thank you, Easley, for becoming a WIMD member. Thank you, thank you. You don't like any Thanksgiving food, but you want a poll? We'll make a poll, and we'll do it, Lola. For sure. Overall storm structure improving. Yeah, no, I mean, these storms are definitely, you know, they are slowly maturing and getting a little bit stronger. A little bit stronger. I don't know exactly where Carmen is in Selma, but he is near this storm. So hopefully we can get a view of that storm. And also, this storm is about to get a merger to the south. So kind of got to watch for the same kind of things with at least this storm, as at least our latest mesoscale analysis, our mid-level lapse rates are still a little bit low. So a merger might help that storm, unfortunately, try to become what it wants to become, but what we don't want it to become. Also, so there are some thunderstorms about to head into reform in Aliceville as well here in western Alabama. Those are going just north of Meridian, Mississippi. There's also quite a few thunderstorms back over here near Hattiesburg as well. Turkey pie, mashed potatoes, mac and cheese. Okay. Favorite Thanksgiving food. Turkey, pie, mashed potatoes, mac and cheese. Poll is up. Let your voice be heard, folks. Say your favorite Thanksgiving food. Vote now. Oh, looks like mac and cheese is coming out with the early lead, with turkey in second at 27%. It's like pie is starting to come back from last place. Oh, turkey takes the lead again at 29%, now tied with pie. But now turkey is taking the number one lead at 35%. It is almost unanimous. Will anybody come back? Will pie make a comeback? Will mashed potatoes try to make a comeback? Mac and cheese, I feel like, should have a pretty good chance at making a comeback here. I think mac and cheese is a popular staple food that people really enjoy to eat. But I mean, you can't really beat the turkey, can you? Can't really beat the turkey. 35%. Going once. Going twice. Going three times. Bam. Oh, wait. Bam. Turkey is the favorite Thanksgiving food, with mac and cheese second, pie third, and mashed potatoes last, which honestly is not that surprising. Mashed potatoes is one of those staples that are either really good. I mean, it varies a lot. I mean, turkey, I think everybody's got their Thanksgiving turkey recipes down by this point, but mashed potatoes, they're hard to get right. Either get a really good batch of mashed potatoes, or you do just a little something wrong. Maybe don't add enough salt or enough butter. And then, yeah. But this is the storm over here in near Selma, Alabama. And I think we're seeing something near there. I still don't know exactly where he is or exactly what portion of the storm he's looking at. But he should be on Radar Omega. Let me see if he's on Radar Omega. He told me that he officially might be getting sponsored by Radar Omega, which is huge. Congrats. We've been using Carmen for a while. That's exciting news. Let's see here. Cyclone Port. Did they get him up before today? They did not. Oh, wait. Nope. I don't see his little icon. Bummer. And thank you, Such Plain Weather, for becoming a WIMD member. Welcome, welcome. Gotta go do some school now. You'll come back next live, or you'll try. All right. Well, thank you. Thank you for tuning in and giving us a poll idea. All right, let's come check back in with our rotations here. Back down over here near Tasso, maybe seeing a little bit stronger rotation over there near White's Bluff. Latest scan kind of looks like it's a little bit side lobed. You can see there is, that might be a little donut hole forming in our storm, actually. A little bit stronger rotation picking up here south of White's Bluff. Not seeing a debris signature yet. That one could also be close to a tornado warning there. This one over here in Maplesville still has some weaker rotations. It seems like these storms a little bit further north are struggling a little bit more to consolidate rotation, like this one over here near Sylacauga. Had some stronger rotation here earlier, but now it's starting to fall apart a little bit. That is the latest out there in terms of storms with rotation. Let's come back up to the north and check in on our snow. It's still snowing. Heaviest snow appears to be over Aberdeen near Redfield. Also some pretty heavy snow here in Oaks and Ellendale, Foreman and Rutland here in North Dakota. Still hasn't quite moved into Minnesota yet. If you live over here near Fergus Falls, let us know in chat, or Morris, let us know in chat if you guys are seeing snowflakes yet. Sometimes these radars are a little bit inaccurate. How many peeps do we got in chat tuning in for the snow? Probably not too many. We'll see. Is it likely that there will be tornadoes in the southeast? I wouldn't say likely, but it's definitely possible. I would say it's a little bit more likely today than it was yesterday. Someone sent a snow vid on Discord from southeast North Dakota. Let me see. Let me see if I can pull that up. Let's see here. Where would it be posted in? Where, oh where? Could be in winter weather. It is. Check this out. This is in southeast North Dakota. This was posted by DRK Wagner. Yeah, look at that. They're really getting that snow pile up there. Maybe a couple of inches already, or an inch, almost 2 inches, and very heavy snow. It's winter. It's starting to feel a little bit like winter, isn't it now? We're getting closer. Well, November isn't really known for its big time winter storms. We can get them every now and then. But man, is it really starting to feel like we're getting into that snow season slowly but surely. Derek Wagner. Gotcha. Am I cooked? I don't know. I certainly do not know the answer to that, sir. Are you cooked? We should check. Should be pretty easy to tell if you are cooked. Get up some burns. If you don't live in Alabama or Mississippi, you should be fine. Well, in terms of the severe weather, but I mean, up here, we are definitely, I can show you guys here, definitely watching out for some power outage potential, and also that damaging wind potential. So if we come out over here and look at where some of these winds are wrapping around on the backside here, you can see the wind gusts are already up to 31 miles per hour there. Over here near Gettysburg, wind gusts up to 43 miles per hour. Also 58 mile per hour wind gusts on the outside of the snow there into southern South Dakota. Near O'Neill, 46 mile per hour winds. So yeah, definitely some very strong winds in the area. Let's go check, see if we can't see with our eyeballs what that wind looks like. Oh yeah. Jeez. Maybe a tad windy. Maybe just a little bit windy, huh? Just a wee bit windy. Yeah, that's what we're seeing out there right now. Not even close. All right, let's come check back in with Carmen. See what he's talking about, if he's talking about anything. He is not talking about anything. Trying to figure out what road he's on. He's definitely on a main highway. I would assume he's on Highway 80. Near Selma.
New MCD has been issued for this location.
Ooh. New MCD. Mesoscale discussion has been issued. Is it for snow or severe weather? I didn't see it. Severe? Oh, okay. Yeah, I'll wait for the graphic to pop up and then we'll go over it. And these areas of rotation further up to the north are starting to get a little bit weaker. So it seems like the farther up north these storms go, the weaker they get in terms of their rotation. But still have it now 2 areas of rotation over here south of Cahaba. Still relatively broad rotation. There's a wind gusts up to 63 miles per hour near Gregory, South Dakota. My goodness. Here it is. Here's the latest mesoscale discussion. It says zone of prefrontal confluence will be focused for uncertain but locally more favorable tornado potential this afternoon. Tornado peak and tornado intensity is going to be 85 to 115 miles per hour there. So there you go. Tornado potential. Like a probability for a watch is only 40%. I really want to get a view on these. Let me see if I can get a camera in Aberdeen of the snow. Oh my goodness. Okay. Might have found one. Maybe so. Okay, so here's the snow there in Aberdeen, South Dakota. As you can see, it is snowy. Complete whiteout. Almost, yeah. You can barely see those cars off in the distance. Trying to see if there's anything else. Anything else with snow on it? Oh, I found a golf course. Golf course camera. Does this have audio? Let me check to see if it has audio. No audio, unfortunately. We can't absolutely destroy our eardrums with wind noises, unfortunately. Where is that? Is that Clear Lake? Oh, that's Lake something. Lake Preston. Wow. It's crazy the difference here. Lake Preston, which is only a couple miles away from this area, doesn't really have that much snow. But Aberdeen does. You know, the golf camera doesn't really have much happening. Yeah, you can see it's a lot drier over here. Potentially more snow happening over here near Redford and Miller there. But that little lake camera is like back in this area. There is nothing, no snow. But that will change likely here in a little bit. let me see if I can find something else. And then after that, we'll go back down and check in on that severe weather. Okay, so we want to be like just south near Miller. Oh, yeah. Okay. We will hijack this one. That is out. Also getting windy here in Miller, South Dakota as well. But our worst snow conditions, at least that I can find on camera, are here in Aberdeen. Also a camera near Huron. See if I can find that one. That camera is a little bit glitchy. North Carolina, yeah, North Carolina will be fine. We're not going to really have much more instability going into tomorrow. At least that's what the models are saying right now. That wind, yeah, the wind is pretty intense. We've been seeing reports of up and over 60-mile-per-hour winds already. And some wind gusts even stronger than that in some areas. And that's like out away from the snow. There will be like thunderstorms for North Carolina. We come over to our models really quick. You can see that a line of thunderstorms will exist. If we do get like a severe weather risk, there will be, it'll probably be down here. Yeah, down there, mainly like near like Allendale, Savannah, maybe parts of like northern Florida, but it's not looking super favorable. I haven't done a real deep dive into tomorrow yet, but you see our instability is really lacking. Maybe we can get an uptrend and see a little bit of a higher chance for some severe weather. All right, let's come back down here and check on our tornado threat. We still have a couple of areas of rotation here south of Cahaba. Definitely some heavy rain and wind about to come into Selma. You can see that happening currently on Carmen Palermo's screen here. He's live on YouTube. Check him out if you are a Selma or South Central Alabama local. And thank you, Caitlin, for subscribing. Man, it is going absolutely crazy here, though. Hopefully rain in mid-Florida. Yeah, hopefully. Are y'all in like a drought or something? I think so. I don't think you guys have gotten rain in a while. Tornado chance should be like basically 0. For North Carolina. About as close to 0 that you can get. Reform, Alabama. Let me see. Reform. You guys have an approaching thunderstorm right now. No areas of strong rotation on it. Maybe a little bit of rotation off to your north and east, but not strong enough yet to concern me. These storms are doing a little. They do have a little bit of a couple of areas of some weak rotation on them right now, though. I'm not sure how favorable though it is up there. Yeah, not super favorable. Lapse rates are a wee bit low Wee bit low over there. 30 knots of shear around the storm. Maybe you can make an argument if we get some mergers, we could see a little bit more sustained rotation out of some of these storms. Getting ready to change to snow in Duluth. Is that Minnesota? Or which state is that in? And thank you, Sister Sabotage, for the $2 donation. Thank you so much. How's Greenville, Alabama? Greenville's good for now. Later on today, though, you're going to be in a 2% tornado risk. And some damaging winds will be possible, but should stay relatively manageable out there in Greenville. I wouldn't be too worried about that. Not going to be as bad as what's happening over here. Non-severe storm, but some very strong winds here in Aberdeen with the super heavy snowfall right now. This is almost blizzard conditions. Is there a chance of snow in Florida? No idea. Probably not. It's a pretty rare occurrence. How's Chazzy doing? He's doing pretty good. He's doing pretty darn well. He's a happy dog. All right, I'll check out that camera. Looks like these are picture cameras. But we do have a camera in a couple of cameras in South Dakota. We have this camera here and this camera as well, where we are starting to see some heavier snow pull into Miller camera. So we got one camera in Aberdeen and then one in Miller, which is where we're seeing at least the worst conditions right now in South Dakota. Would you say we have a decent clearing over Alabama right now? Yeah, down over here for sure. And also a little bit of a clearing back over here too. So yeah, I would say decent clearing. That will help destabilize the atmosphere a bit. But again, you know, our wind vectors are pretty parallel right now. But, you know, there is definitely a directional or a perpendicular component to it. The level lapse rates are a little bit low, but we got to watch for like storm mergers on like storms like this. That could push them over the top. Hey, thank you, Oren, for being a member for 6 months. Thank you so much. Chazzy for president. Okay. Does that mean I'll be the first man? Selma Storm is taking a breather. Yeah, it's not looking too crazy right now. Let's have still some broader areas of rotation, but it is going through a lot of different mergers right now. Also a little bit of a supercellular structure up a little bit further north, but I think these storms are struggling to route to the surface. This one over here near Cooper has a little bit of rotation starting to develop, but nothing. There's still nothing on the radar right now that's like making me think a tornado is about to happen. Orville, Alabama. We're near Selma. Yeah, I mean, you need to be watching these storms, you know. Just keep an eye on them. I'll keep an eye on them for you. Orville, Alabama. Well, actually, yeah, this one's going to miss you, actually. But you do have a cluster of storms developing off to your west. Not sure how strong those are going to be. They could be a little bit stronger as we go throughout the day, or they might stay kind of like weak showers. And then we're also watching to see how far to the south this little boundary can get. If we can get more storms further to the south, you might also get some of these storms as well. I do believe these storms should have a lower tornado risk, but still probably a little bit of a tornado risk with it in comparison to like these storms out over here. I think this is where our highest tornado potential is, albeit pretty low. Aren't I in the risk zone further up to the north? Technically, yeah, I'm in a 2% tornado risk today. I'm not too worried about it. Our area got scraped over quite a bit by that a little shortwave that came through earlier this morning that brought some heavy winds and rain and some severe winds for a lot of folks. And thank you, Theodore, for subscribing. You're looking at my radar, and I'm seeing some pretty weak rotation near Reform, Alabama. Yes. Yeah, we talked about that earlier when you asked that question. It's really weak. And now it was a little, honestly, a little bit stronger than this, but still weak earlier. But now it's getting even weaker. But definitely some heavy rain about to move into Reform, and Aliceville and Fayette could have some wind associated with that as well. This is Carmen. He's getting some heavier rain now. He is still near Selma, I believe. Looking snazzy. Thank you. I decided to wear a collared shirt today. I'm going to have to go for a bit, but I'll leave the stream on. I still have some work to do with cleaning up our house for Thanksgiving. See ya, everyone. All right, see ya. Thank you for leaving the stream on. That helps with view duration, which does help us in the algorithm. Let's go check back out that snow. Jeez, it's still going. Seems like winds are picking up a little bit in Miller. Look at that flag in the distance. And look at that poor cow just standing on top of those poles. Probably cold. Oh my gosh. Jeez Louise. Sorry, I didn't mean to click on that. I was about to say, if Ryan continues to copy I'm raising the stakes in the Ryan copying me. He's taken my idea to wear a nice jacket. Will he raise the stakes and wear the collared shirt today? He's also taken my placement of where I put my camera and the green screen in this area. So we're raising the stakes. If he steals that, I'm getting my ear pierced. We'll just keep controlling everything Ryan does. Is Antioch, Tennessee? What is Antioch, Tennessee doing today? Probably rain. Let me see where Antioch is. I don't think you guys have much of a severe risk. Yeah, might not even see much rain up there. Let's see what our latest HRRR model. Yeah, looks like it's gonna stay relatively dry. Might see some like really light showers, but nothing to be worried about up there. Raise the challenge. Do your forecast in a tux. we might have to do that. Might have to do that. Just keep on, like, everything that he copies, we're just going to keep on going one step further. And then the final step will be a clown suit. All right, let's see here. Latest scans here near Selma. Still some very broad rotation. Top hat. Ooh. That actually would be hilarious. I'm so down to wear a top hat. What about Coleman, Alabama? Coleman, Alabama, we are watching for some stuff, some rain. I really don't think the severe weather threat's going to be too present up here, further up to the north. We do have a line of storms developing back here that, you know, you could get some thunderstorms. I guess you could make the argument for that, but I'm really not expecting anything too crazy further up. Really anything past like Jasper, like north of Birmingham. I really don't think the severe threat's going to be that intense up there. Maybe get like one of those like little eye things too. So we look like the Monopoly Man. Anything for Mobile to Ocean Springs? Yeah, I think there is a little bit. Yeah, there's a little bit of a tornado threat down there, and that's going to be from these storms streaming off the Gulf. Should be really brief and weak tornadoes. We really don't have that much shear down there. A monocle, yes. Sorry, guys, I'm not rich enough to know the word for that. Man, look at this. Jeez, those winds are really picking up in Aberdeen. My goodness. Shave my hair? I'm not doing that. Maybe I'll do that. I'll do that for next Halloween. I'll shave my head and we can dress up as James Spann. Oh, take that, James Spann. Wow. Holy moly. Those are some strong winds. Hello, hello. Is Birmingham clear for tornadoes? Your only other shot is going to be if these storms back over here try to become tornadic. They are pretty lined up right now. They're in a line of storms, which in this environment is going to make them a little bit less tornadic. But, you know, you could make the argument that some of these storms near Meridian might try to do something later on today. I don't think it's going to be a super elevated chance, but you could make the argument. Today is like going to be one of those days where we either get something to happen or not, really. Will James Spann be live? Probably. I would assume so. If we get a tornado warning in Alabama, he'll probably be live on Alabama Weather Network. And thanks for subscribing, Merc. All of Tennessee is looking pretty good. You would totally regret shaving your head? Yeah, I definitely would. I've already seen something made. Like someone took a little filter and put it over my face and said, and made me bald. I've already seen it. It wouldn't look good. My last name German? I think so, yeah. Freiburg. I think there's a town there's a town in Germany called Freiburg. Douglasville in Georgia. All right, we got someone here in Georgia. Okay. Douglasville. There's a lot of Douglasvilles. Phew. Yeah, I mean, down the line, you know, you could be in like a 2% tornado risk. You're gonna be by the time the you got a lot of rain out over there right now, which should keep the instability a little bit lower. These storms that are to your west are really not too tornadically active. You could make the argument that this is really broad circulation here, but I'm not really seeing anything, at least immediately right now, that you should be worried about. But keep your eye on it just in case. You're waiting for a tornado warning? Why? I don't want one. Let's go check back up with the snow. What's the snow doing? Yeah, still pretty heavy over here near Aberdeen. That's where we've been watching. Like Siston is also getting some pretty heavy snow there. Still hasn't quite moved into Minnesota yet, but you can see it is making it slowly but surely to the South and North Dakota and Minnesota border. Might be getting some snow over there near Barnesville. And those strong winds will persist again, 40 to 60 mile per hour. Oh, look at that. We just got a tornado watch. They had a 40% chance of issuing it, and then they just issued it. Yeah, we have a tornado watch. We bring that up. Oh, that's not the right one. Sorry about that. There we go. Here's our tornado watch. That's going to be for Birmingham, Tuscaloosa, Sylacauga, Alexander City, Brent, Demopolis, Selma, Montgomery, Greenville, Thomasville, Monroeville, and Waynesboro are all in this tornado watch here in parts of Alabama and Mississippi. A couple tornadoes are possible. Isolated hail of up to quarter-sized possible, and isolated wind gusts of up to 60 miles per hour is possible. Is possible. Maybe a little bit stronger rotation trying to develop on this storm now near Cahaba. Right there in that area. That does appear to be in the inflow. We might be dealing with a little bit of contamination there. Check back down a little bit further to the south. Yeah, nothing. Although we have a tornado watch, still nothing really other than this storm right here that's really catching my eye. Yeah, North Georgia is in the clear. Yeah, you guys have already got what you're going to get today. You still have some rain probably coming, but that's about it. Yeah, what to do if you're in a car and you're in a tornado? I guess just hope that you don't die. I mean, there's not much you can do. I guess, you know, you'd probably be best to cover your head and neck areas. And maybe get in a fetal position and start crying. And enjoy the ride because it might be your last. That's what I would do. I wouldn't sit there being all scared because I'd just be like, you know what? I'm already up 100 feet in the air. Might as well enjoy it because you never know. Floor it. Are you talking like, no, but they said inside of a tornado. So I assumed that like it was already like lifting it up in the air. If it's a weak tornado, you know, you'll probably be all right. Just don't have your windows down. That snow is up in Aberdeen, South Dakota. It is snowing cats and dogs up there. And then this over here is in Miller, South Dakota. Not as snowy, but I am expecting it to pick up a little bit eventually. Definitely very windy. You can see that flag in the distance. But this is the worst snow conditions that we've been able to find. I mean, it's just absolutely crazy up here. What if a tornado hits a sewage plant? A lot of people would get random infections. And it would smell really bad for a long time. If it's strong enough to. Man, look at those winds. It's crazy. Yeah, honestly, I wouldn't mind being in this storm. I don't think I've ever been in like a really strong snowstorm before. I've been in some pretty good ones in Vermont, but nothing like this, I don't think. Stinknado? Yeah, it would definitely be a stinknado. Shitstorm. Yes. Okay, this is looking a little bit more concerning here near Tyler. Got an area of rotation on that mesocyclone. Let me check back in with Carmen. He should be around this area.
North of Benton on the other side of the river, there's a little bit of rotation with this storm right now. You can see a little bit of outflow too on it now. A little bit of reds popping up on there. Only problem is this river's in my way, so I can't get close to it.
Oh, okay. Let me see where he is. Let me message him.
Should be able to see the updraft base at some point. At some point, I gotta need to move too because I'm just in somebody's driveway.
Apparently, the NWS Jackson, Mississippi confirms an EF0 tornado near Learned, Mississippi.
A couple trucks coming, let them go by first.
Where you at? We'll try to get a.
Where the updraft would be at. I can't see it because of the rain.
Sounds like he's pretty close.
That rotation's right over those trees back there.
Okay.
I'm located directly north on the other side of the river from
River. Where's the river at?
that we're seeing on radar right now near Benton, Alabama.
Yeah, apparently
I'm not gonna be able to see it.
he's just north of it.
I'm gonna have to wait till it crosses.
It might clear out if he gets out of the rain. Just got here. What did you miss? Really strong winds and really heavy snow in Aberdeen, South Dakota. And we got an area of rotation trying to develop on this storm. It's not tornado warned, but we got a storm chaser that's near the rotation near Benton, Alabama, just east of Selma.
I don't know where I can get a view of this from the side. I'm gonna have to go north and then drop back down south again.
Do we normally see this? Yes, we do. Especially in the southeast, we do see increased tornado potentials coming into winter because we still have the Gulf of Mexico, which is still pumping out that moisture. So you get a big enough trough, it'll bring it up, kind of like what's happening today. And you know, those troughs have wind in the upper and lower levels, and that causes rotation. So it does happen. In fact, one of the most infamous tornadoes, the Mayfield tornado, happened in December. Is Brett Adair back live yet? He is still not live. He's in Marbury, Alabama. But yeah, this is what we were talking about here in Aberdeen, South Dakota, where we're seeing some very strong winds and snow. When is the Iron Bowl? For Raymer, let me see where Raymer is. Yeah, you guys are in a tornado watch right now, and you have some cells developing out to your west that you're gonna have to keep an eye on throughout the day. They're over there near like Jackson. They are trying to mature down here, and we are seeing a couple little areas of rotation, but nothing too serious yet. It's like a white void. It kind of does, yeah. Oh, Carmen's on the move. I do want to keep an eye on his stream as he's pretty close to that rotation. Just want to see if we can get an eye on it.
I'm going to follow the storm because it's going to move out of this environment here shortly. We're going to follow it for probably like 30 minutes maybe, and then head back west. Because that's where the actual threat's going to be at later this evening. Maybe, I don't know yet.
Iron Bowl is Saturday. Should be cooler and drier. After today, the moisture should really move out of Alabama. We are not doing merch.
Appreciate you guys tuning in today.
If you want to help support the channel, you can donate at your own will, but I am not going to beg for money. If you see value and you want to support the channel and help fund the things that we do here, feel free to donate, but we're not doing merch.
Alabama's pretty hilly, but this area is really flat.
Or sponsorships. I'm not here to be a salesman.
Anywhere, I'm looking around, looking down these side roads.
Do I accept cryptocurrency donations? I mean, if you got some Bitcoin, if you want to give me one Bitcoin, feel free. No, but no, I don't have a wallet or anything, I don't think. Oh, wow. Okay, this storm north of Benton. Let me just double check. Okay, that's in the inflow there. A little bit of side lobe contamination. It might have lost some of that rotation, but there are still mergers making it into this storm that is helping it slowly get more and more organized. Definitely need to keep an eye on this storm near the Prattville area. It doesn't have long, as Carmen was saying earlier. My goodness. As Carmen was saying earlier, you know, this storm doesn't have long in the best environment, but it does have a little bit longer, especially if it can get some more mergers. .03 of Bitcoin. I have no idea how much that is. I don't have a wallet, so don't worry about it. Yeah, that's the latest there. Let's come back, check in on our snow really quick over here near Aberdeen. This is that camera we've been watching every now and then when we switch to that snow view. Still very heavy snow here in Aberdeen. And snow is still creeping. Fergus Falls and Morris might start seeing some flakes mix in here in a little bit. Might start seeing some flakes. Definitely some strong winds still. Hey, thank you, Daniel, for the $10 donation. Thank you so much. Happy Thanksgiving to you and your family. Thank you. Thank you for all you do to keep people safe and informed. No problem. Absolutely no problem. Thank you for that $10. You posted another short video on Discord? Okay, I will check it out. Oh, wow. Look at that. Wow. What is that? Torrential snow pour. Jeez Louise. Not for Tennessee, no. Mainly down to the south, but we could have some small hail. Yeah, if you guys didn't know, there was a storm chaser, Jordan Hall, ran like 7 red lights to get to to chase a tornado, and he ran 7 red lights. So that's what that joke is. But yeah, this is oops. This is the joke. Better watch out. We got a storm chasers running red lights watch has been issued in the central Alabama area, along with the tornado watch as well. It's got a decent little area of rotation here north of Benton. Still looks a little bit contaminated though. We do have more mergers coming in very shortly, so we'll see what those end up doing with the with our storm here. What's the Discord? Let me get that link for you. Let me get that link. The Discord is now in chat. Feel free to join. Feel free to join. When I'm not live, help is usually in the severe chat, giving everybody updates. Help, how late did you stay up last night? Just curious. Did I miss your winter outlook for the Southeast? I don't do winter outlooks. He's always giving updates. 3 a.m. and woke up at 6 a.m. Jeez Louise. Boy, if Help ever gets a YouTube channel, we're all cooked. He might even compete with the Y'allbot for longest live streams. Carmen's got a little view of something. I don't know what. Looks like there's a storm back in that rain. Just lost our sunshine in Camp Hill, Alabama. Thanks for letting me know. No funnel yet. No funnel has been reported on this storm yet. Let me see if Rob is live. I know he's going to be chasing today. No, he is not live yet. AI is very good at predicting weather. It does a pretty darn good job. I wouldn't say it's very good. It is a little bit better though than our other models. And it will only get better, so it does have a bright future ahead of itself. Yeah, a couple broad areas of rotation, weak and broad areas here near Gordo, Alabama. Keeping an eye on those. And I really don't think the tornadic environment is too high with this line of storms. It's about to move into Tuscaloosa, but it's worth you know, making sure that they don't, or seeing what they're up to. It looks like this rotation is starting to get a little bit more disorganized here. We've got one more merger coming into our storm here in just a little bit. We'll see if that pushes it over at the edge. If it doesn't, this thing's going to run out of the most favorable environment here, probably in a little bit. Let me just double check, see what our latest meso analysis is saying. Our surface low is actually getting stronger near these storms. It says the storm is in 1,500 joules per kilogram. Sitting at around 7 lapse rates. And there is a little bit of forcing over this storm. I mean, you could definitely make the argument that it might have a little bit more time. So definitely, I think definitely worth keeping an eye on this guy for at least another hour. Must not be near Gordo, or would have heard that name by now. Do I use WeatherWise for the snow? Sometimes, yeah. Oh, looks like they changed the camera angle here in Aberdeen. Look at that. This is near Stanford Health Stadium, I guess. No, it's not a stadium. Looks like an ice skating rink. Maybe. Wow. Look at that wind gust. A little bit better, yeah, than yesterday. How do you enable the snow view? You just got to go into like where like the reflectivity is and all of that. And there should be a precipitation type box in that area. And then you click that and it will change it to the winter weather radar. Oh, wait, Brett's live on Hascam. This is Brett's view. Does it have audio? No audio. You see, we have a storm in the distance along with a Chick-fil-A and a Starbucks. You pretty much anywhere in Alabama, every time you see a Chick-fil-A, you'll usually find a Starbucks not too far away. Yeah, he's over here near Prattville. Not sure why he's live on Hascams. Let me go to the Hascam website and get that up. Actually have quite a few Hascams in this area. We got one in Tuscaloosa. A view of the storms slowly approaching the area. Got another camera in Montgomery. So you can also see some storms in the distance there. Tuscaloosa tornado outbreak view, is it? Is this the same camera? Thank you, Mia. Or Maya. Or me. How do I say that? Thank you for subscribing. How's my throat? It's doing pretty good. Pretty good. The only time it gets a little iffy is if I get a little rotation developing over here south of Bentleyville. Might be a little bit contaminated though. Kind of in a weird spot of the storm. Yeah, from the Birmingham radar, this storm still has a decent little area of rotation on it. I don't know how to get... I don't want to open a whole nother instance of weather-wise in order to see Brett's stream. And it looks like he just got off again. Got offline. Hydrate. Sure. Paige's going live in 30. Where's she at? Oh, we still have Carmen near the storm though, so let's check back in with what he is seeing.
Nothing.
Oh, geez Louise.
My entire thing's broke.
Oh no. Uh-oh.
Hold on. Are you kidding me right now?
Is it broken? I think it broke.
Well, guess I'm just gonna have to hold my phone for a little bit so I can figure out what's going on with this thing.
Oh, they're chasing in Alabama. Yeah, Paigey will be live in 30 minutes in Alabama. I was thinking they might go north. I will put her where Brett is. Because Brett seems a tad iffy. Selling Alabama is looking good. It looks interesting. I will say that it's about to get a big merger, and it does have some rotation, at least a stronger inflow. You could definitely denote a stronger inflow here. Question still remains on whether or not this merger will help or hurt the storm, but it is worth keeping an eye on for sure. We also have a couple of cells developing back over here near Grove Hill and Jackson that we are watching as well. So we'll see what happens. Environment is more conducive, I would say, today than yesterday.
It's just gonna form on top.
But
So that's
just by a little bit. It's not by a large degree. So still not expecting like a super active day, but if things can just get rooted at the surface, could definitely see some crazier weather develop. Yeah. Yeah, 26 minutes until Paigey goes live. This is what it looks like in Aberdeen, South Dakota. It is still very, very snowy and very windy up there. Jeez. Open up the storm to increase inflow space. What it will definitely help, I think, is help the storm overcome those mid-level lapse rates that are a little bit on the low side, which could push it over the top. Man, very strong winds. This is certainly a snowstorm and a half. Yeah. And I guess a good spot there. There is a little bit of rotation, just a couple areas of rotation, actually. to the east of Aliceville, now developing on these storms. Just to the east of Aliceville, heading closer to Tuscaloosa. See if we got a view on these storms yet. Yeah, you can actually see them in the distance. Check that out. Haven't seen snow like that in 5+ years. Where you at? I have never seen snow like that in my life. That is the Tuscaloosa tornado cam. Oh, wow. Well, hopefully we don't see any tornadoes on this cam again, huh? I think Tuscaloosa needs at least a 1,000-year break from tornadoes. Come visit Canada. That's just a regular Tuesday. Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. Yeah, it looks like there's not a whole lot happening. I'm guessing Tuscaloosa is in like holiday break. I'm not seeing like anybody walking around here on campus. Isn't this campus? Or that might be a hotel. I think we're near the campus. Yeah, you can see the storm in the distance. That does have some rotation. You can actually see the base of the storm back over in this area right here. So we'll keep an eye on it. If anything happens with this storm, we should have a view on it, though. Let me see if we can do something here. I put this like this. Can I still move things? Nice. I'll just keep that up over there. Yeah, latest scan. Still an area of rotation down here. Not very strong rotation, but enough to keep an eye on it. Got two little areas here around the Tuscaloosa area. Again, not anything to be freaking out about yet. I'll let you know when to start doing that. Little mini supercell now up here just to the north of Rockford. Starting to get some rotation on it again. These storms further up to the north haven't been too good at sustaining those rotations for very long, but definitely worth keeping an eye on that. Other areas also get upgraded to blizzard warnings and the ones we already have. Yes. Let me make sure I have my blizzard warnings on radar Omega. Yeah, we do have blizzard warnings over here near Aberdeen, which isn't overly surprising given how much wind and snow we've been seeing. So we've actually been looking at a blizzard here on this camera. Sorry, I wasn't aware that that got issued because I don't have alerts for it. I need to get those added. Yeah, this is what a blizzard looks like. They're in Aberdeen. I think that's the only area that has a blizzard warning right now, but that could eventually move into Minnesota. Could get some blizzard warnings in Minnesota. Also potentially in the UP of Michigan. Wouldn't be overly surprised to see it also some blizzards potential there into parts of Wisconsin. All right, let's go over. I'm going to go over and put it on Carmen for a second. Actually, we'll leave it here. I need to refill my water real quick. Just give me one moment. Un momento. Water is good. Like, wow. Sometimes water is just really nice. Love to see that stop when it's not falling here. Fair enough. Yeah, I don't think Alabama could handle a storm or a snowstorm like this. All right, let's come check back in with our rotations. Yeah, this storm over here near Cruzville and Rockford, Alabama is still heading towards Hatchet and Bradford. This little guy over here, little mini supercell, definition of a mini supercell right there north of Wetumpka. Not seeing any dangerous rotation. Looks like our storm here that is heading near to Prattsville is officially ingesting the merger as we speak. Let's come check back over here. Check back in with our Tuscaloosa storms. Yeah, still a little bit of rotation, but still not anything overly concerning. This is what that storm looks like right now. On the CC, that is something near Rockford, or is that contamination? Let me check. Let me give that a look. Not seeing any CC near the rotation. Let me go back a couple of scans. Yeah, no CC on this drop on this storm. And if you're like noticing that near Rockford, that's just clear air. You can see it's just clear air in the area. Sometimes you see a CC drop with the clear air. We do have a lot of little mini supercell, or a couple of mini supercells over here. Maybe keep an eye on the thermodynamics are not super favorable up here, but we do have a little bit higher shear the further north we go. Oh wow, we're getting a little zoom in here now. Let me get myself out of the way here. It looks like there's the base of the storm. I'm not seeing anything like dangerous under there. No lowerings or anything. Hamburg, New York here, south of Buffalo. Melanie, it really just depends on where the lake effect band sets up. Yeah, I mean it's gonna be iffy until like the snow band actually sets up. Lake effect snow is always hard to predict. Is Breadadair back live as well? He is. We'll get him up here as well. Look at that, 5 cameras. We're going crazy on the cameras today. Well, we're running out of radar space. Let me see if I can make these a little bit smaller. I want a little bit more radar to work with. Nope. Okay. It has to be this size in order to kind of match the other cameras. Turkey or ham? Definitely more of a turkey fan, but I like me a little bit of ham. I'm a little bit of a ham fan. See this Montgomery. Oh, wow. Look at this camera in Montgomery, Alabama. We'll add that to our selection. In fact, let me make this big. This is the storm we've been watching for a while. This is what it looks like. You see maybe a little bit of a mesocyclone back in there. It's pretty ragged right now. Definitely pumpkin pie fan. 100% pumpkin pie. All day, every day. I will eat. I used to be known back when I had an endless pit for a stomach for eating an entire pumpkin pie every Thanksgiving. But they were smaller. They weren't like the Costco pumpkin pies. that were like huge. Man, look at the Aberdeen cam. Getting another big wind gust here. Pecan pie is good. I like pecan pie. There's really not too big of a flavor difference in between like pecan pie though and pumpkin pie. Persimmon pie. No, I've never had that before. It looks like Brett Adair is waiting for this storm that's coming into Prattville right now, but our rotation on it has completely fallen apart. Back over here near Kellyton, we've been watching this storm. Looks like this rotation's also kind of falling apart there as well. And not super favorable with these storms over there. Let's come back and check over near Tuscaloosa. Still like a weak area of circulation here, but nothing that's really sticking out to me as like dangerous right now. Wow. Montgomery storm's looking a little bit more interesting. That's the one Brett Adair is on. And you see maybe a little mesocyclone back there. But there's just not a whole lot of rotation near the surface. You're going to get snow within the next 10 days? I don't know. Maybe, maybe not. It's always a big what if. Further down south you go. You really got to wait within like the 2-day time frame to really confirm any snow down there. Is Birmingham, Alabama in any threat today? Eventually, yeah. There we go. Fix this. You guys had a storm come through there earlier. But back over here near Tuscaloosa, there are some weak areas of rotation along this line, and this line will eventually try to make a close, or will eventually make it into Birmingham. So we are keeping an eye on that potential. And thank you, Blondie, for being a member for 23 friggin' months. My goodness. That's a long time. Thank you. Maryland might get snow next week. I hope so. I hope you get some. I hope you get some. Let's go check back in on that snow up there in South Dakota. Look at our latest radar features. Is it making it into... Yeah, it looks like we're starting to get some maybe heavier snow over there near Barnesville and Holly there in Minnesota. Our snow is moving further to the east into about to get some heavy snow and wind here in Clark. And heavy snow and wind is going to continue here for Aberdeen and Redfield. And eventually it's going to be moving into Haiti and Clear Lake in just a little bit. So watch out for that. Minnesota is about to get into some of these stronger winds and snow. This Montgomery cam is continuing to look pretty darn cool. Look at that. Shell cloud now showing up. Also, this is what the conditions look like in Aberdeen, South Dakota at the moment. Still very strong winds and snow ongoing. This would probably be considered a severe thunderstorm warning if this was rain. Too much hills. Yeah, usually when you get those hills, you also get the trees as well. Man, Let you live in Tennessee, right? We get the cold, but we never get snow like this, thankfully. Thankfully. That is in Aberdeen. Yeah, but this is the storm near Prattville in Montgomery. You can see that we have what appears to be a shelf cloud here. Twin Cities, yeah, y'all will probably be getting some snow. Not right now, but later in the day. What happened to Brett's stream? Looks like Brett's stream is screwing up again. We're looking at the storm we're looking at from Montgomery is this one, where we really lost most of our rotation with it. But it definitely has a pretty cool shelf cloud on it. Back over here near Tuscaloosa, Alabama. Keeping an eye on these storms still. Still a little bit of rotation back over here. Just still pretty unimpressive. So probably not going to see a tornado warning on that storm anytime soon. I do want to check back down with these guys. Yeah, still pretty unimpressive with a lot of these storms here across Alabama. When there's a strong storm with wind gusts up to 60 miles per hour, but the trees slow them down to like 50 to 55. Yeah, I mean, if you stand directly behind the tree, it'll feel a lot less, that's for sure. Us Canadians are being nice and sharing. Finally. We'll take it. We will take it. Also, if you guys are looking for a forecast for that snowstorm, I have a video out that I released just a couple of hours ago. If you want a nice in-depth breakdown of what the snow could do up there. That'll be on my channel. Oh yeah, this is turning into a pretty nice shelf cloud here into Montgomery. Thank you, Lisa, for subscribing. And Titan, thank you, thank you. Welcome to the channel. Yeah, right now we're monitoring the severe and snow threat across the country. Couldn't fit the snow on my thumbnail, though, without making the severe weather threat look insignificant. I struggled with the thumbnail. I tried to put it on there. Maybe I should have just put it on there anyways. All right, latest scan over here east of Prattville. A little bit of rotation starting to develop on this. A little bit more there. Still not strong enough yet to concern me. Check back a little bit further up to the north here. Still some broad circulations near Kellyton and Goodwater. Nothing's really changed there. And Tuscaloosa still looks good to go here. We have a camera in Tuscaloosa. So what it looks like, the storm approaching. A lot of rain wrapping in front of our storm right now, so it's kind of hard to see what's really going on back there. Gotta make sure these nameplates stay up. There we go. These wind gusts are strong. What on this storm here? The snowstorm? Tuning in from Prattville and absolutely stressed. I wouldn't be stressed. This isn't even a severe warned storm. As of right now, it's just got rain. It does have a tornado chance. And I understand you are in a tornado watch, but I wouldn't stress out until we start seeing some concerning rotation. We don't have any concerning rotation on our storm. Just a little bit of weak stuff. Nothing to worry about. I mean, honestly, take this opportunity to go outside before the storm gets there. Well, actually, if you're in Prattville, you probably already have like heavy rain. But if you lived in Montgomery, you could look at the shelf cloud, at least. Yeah, the Bredadare is on weather-wise, but he is his live stream keeps on glitching. Ooh. Yeah, cheesecake would go amazing right now. Redbird, I know I keep asking you, but I'm still wondering. You know, if you're, I sent you a Discord message the other day, and since you're in chat, I'll ask you again. I'm just wondering if you're planning on adding more cameras to the camera map, or if what you've done so far is all you're gonna do. Like in terms of traffic cams. Oh, okay, cool. Thanks for letting me know, and thank you again for making that cam program. Fortunately, the cameras that you have in there don't work for the Alabama traffic cams. I'm not sure what's up with that. But I know Alabama's kind of weird when it comes to sharing their traffic cameras. Man. All right, we're about to get a really nice up and close view of this shelf cloud here. Let me make this full screen. And I'll get myself out of the way so you guys can see it come through a little bit better. You just had cheesecake pudding. I didn't even know that was a thing. Sounds amazing. Can you send me some? Tornadoes in Alabama will spin up really quick. Unfortunately, you've been in one of those days, on a day with no warning. Yeah, that can happen sometimes. Yeah. I've even been like literally hundreds of feet away from a tornado that has happened. I was chasing a storm. Honestly, I went up on Cecil Ashburn near Huntsville to look at the storm just to see if it might form a shelf cloud. It had a special weather statement, and it was on a day where there was really no expectation of a tornado. And it produced a tornado pretty much right after it went over me. Now, I can't use Jaden, and they're in timeout. Jaden and Jordan Hall are in timeout for today. Although Jaden did apologize for running all those stop signs, so. But they still need some punishment. A little bit. Just a little bit. But even if I could use them, I wouldn't. Is it a shelf cloud? It is a shelf cloud. Yes, we have a shelf cloud approaching the just going, past Montgomery here, which is where we're watching. That's where this camera is. Stop sign timeout is a real thing. Well, it's traffic. They ran red lights. 7 red lights. I might have said stop sign, but they ran 7 red lights. And although they did apologize, there are still consequences for your actions. They should get a fine, is what they should get. Because like it's just so dangerous. Like, you're not a police car. Don't run a stoplight. People don't know to stop for you. People, you know, they'll make the argument like, oh, I was trying to provide life-saving information, but if you T-bone a van full of a family and kill multiple people, you're more dangerous than most tornadoes. Not to mention they could hurt themselves. It's like this whole there are some people that, you know, like are not police officers that shouldn't. I mean, anybody that's not a police officer or ambulance should not be running a stoplight. I would say the only exception is you would look really stupid if you were stopped by a stoplight and you decided to allow yourself to get hit by a tornado because you're at a stoplight. That's ridiculous. I mean, if there's a tornado about to run you over, run that stoplight. But you do still, I mean, even in that scenario, you do still run the risk of hitting somebody else and then you're just stuck in a wreck. Hey, Pagey Tornado is right. Is live. Yay. Where are they? We got all the live views today, folks. They seem to be a little bit north or maybe south. It's hard to tell. Yeah, we're looking at Montgomery, Alabama. Let me make sure that's like in the frame so you guys can see that on the top left. Yeah, looking at Montgomery. Got a shelf cloud coming in. We're just watching it. I do want to take a moment here to go check back in on our storms just to make sure they are behaving while we're looking away. All right, so let's go check it. This is the storm that we are looking at, and it's mainly outflow dominant right now. There is a little bit of circulation trying to develop a little bit further, like over Millbrook, but again, not concerning rotation. And we've got a couple of areas of weak circulation north of Alexandra City. Come back over here to Tuscaloosa, where we're starting to see a little bit of a shelf cloud. We'll look at that in a second. Where we also have a little area of rotation here south of Coker. And another one a little bit further up to the north near Highway 43 north of Tuscaloosa. But again, both weak circulations. This is what that storm near Tuscaloosa looks like. It is also developing a shelf cloud. Check it on Y'allbot stream. Yeah, let's see. Are we beating Y'allbot? We are now making it our mission to make sure we always beat the Y'allbot. There are 700 people watching Y'allbot, and we have 1,100 people watching us. Guys, we are better than AI. We've done it. Everybody put a round of applause in the chat. We are winning the war today, at least, against Y'allbot. Take that, AI. Not today. Not today. Yeah, this is the storm that is entering into Tuscaloosa right now. You can see that quite the little shelf cloud back in there. Quite the little shelf cloud. And yeah, we're watching out for these little areas of rotation out here. Again, nothing too crazy. Nothing too crazy in terms of like strong rotation. This is what the rotation looks like right now over there near Coker. But there is a little bit there. So that's why we're looking at this storm right now, just to see what's going on. And I'm here. I'm just minimizing my camera so you guys can see the full picture here. Don't want to get in the way of the view. that I said that. That's fine. I'm just glad that we beat y'all bot today. Another day where I can have less anxiety about AI taking my job. But what are they doing over there? I'm live over here. I guess people just like robots. Some people just prefer robots. To be clear, I don't care about my viewership at all, but I'll be danged if a freaking AI robot can beat my channel. That's the only thing I care about. It's mostly a joke, but at the same time, it is something I secretly worry about from time to time. Yeah, this is what the storm looks like here. You see just underneath this camera, that is Montgomery. As you can see, there is a little bit of a shelf cloud out over here into Montgomery. It just zoomed in there. That storm is this guy over here, which in the upper levels actually does have a decent area of rotation. But when you come down to the lower levels, not as much, but there is a little bit more over here near Kusada, which I think is where we're zoomed in here. So let's take a closer look at this. That's probably the area because they keep on panning it to the right and zooming in on this area. So that's probably where that rotation is. I'm not seeing anything too crazy though right now. Definitely got a shelf cloud. Nice little pan here. Yeah, not really seeing anything stick out on the leading edge of this as like fast motion. That's what we're looking for, is this, seeing these clouds move pretty fast. This is what the shelf cloud looks like, folks. Really close up. The whole thing. Oh, we're getting a pan over here in Tuscaloosa now as well. So let's check that out. Weather-wise, camera operators, better than Radar Omega. Yesterday, we were trying to confirm a tornado on the ground, and Radar Omega, the person that was operating the Radar Omega cam, was looking, kept on looking the complete opposite direction. It was so frustrating. They're on top of it. Yeah. Yeah, I know James Spann. He's a good guy. Good man, the Spann man is. He actually interviewed me not too long ago. All right, let me make sure all these are organized again here on the top right. And let's go check back in with our winter weather really quick while we have a moment. Back up here near Aberdeen, South Dakota. Still have blizzard warnings out here, and this is what the current conditions look like on the ground. And it's a winter wonderland out there for sure. We are keeping a close eye on this area right now. That snow is slowly moving into Minnesota. Probably the biggest push, though, will be from this portion of the storm as it starts to push into Benson and Wilmar, Montevideo, Marshall, and Redwood Falls. Looks like we're getting another zoomed in view here of our potential rotation on this storm. You want to check in on the radar on that. Yeah, still a little area of rotation there. Nothing too strong to be concerned about yet, but that is, the storm looks a little bit more supercellular as it's pushing towards Wetumpka. And then here is that big view of that rotation there. This is looking at that region of the storm right now. Let me check that. Blizzard warnings are now in effect, folks, for the UP of Michigan. Also, 66-mile-per-hour wind gust report near Winship, South Dakota, just north of Aberdeen, South Dakota. Wow. What's going on in chat? Am I getting rickrolled by people in chat? Why? Guys, stay focused. Oh, wow. You can really see that shelf cloud pretty clearly now in Tuscaloosa. Let's go back over here to Tuscaloosa and check in on our radar, see if these storms are still rotating at all. There's still a little bit there, but man, that's plenty weaker than, or about as weak as we've ever seen it there. Again, not super concerned about a tornado threat there, at least in the short term. Let's go check back down here near Camden and see if these storms are organizing anymore. They are not. Seems like that weak forcing is definitely keeping these storms somewhat at bay. Checking on with our storm chasers. Let me see where Pagey Tornado is. They are near Haynesville. Okay, they're just south of Montgomery. So we might eventually end up getting a view of that storm from Tornado Pagey. We've got Carmen. I'm not exactly sure where he is, but he was chasing that storm that's heading into Montgomery. But our best view is still of our Skycam. Here's a little bit more of a broader view of what's happening here in Alabama. Not really expecting much out here near the Huntsville area. But as we go really mainly into Birmingham, Montgomery, and Monroeville, where this black shaded area is, that is our tornado watch. Again, our tornado potential is kind of on a knife's edge again today. Let me put back on my video camera device. Sorry, is kind of back on the yeah, definitely on the edge today. So it could happen or it might not. It's a pretty fickle environment, but we are here just in case it does. You never know. You never know. We got a 5% tornado risk today and a tornado watch, so it is theoretically possible. We're excited to listen to the interview on Weather Brains. It was spicy. It was spicy. It was a spicy interview. I held nothing back. I gave my opinion on things. I spoke words, believe it or not. Hey, thank you, Nick, for subscribing. I mean, I can use the storm relative velocity on Radar Mega, but I can typically tell without the relative velocity whether or not a storm is about to be tornadic or not. But it does help. The storm relative velocity can be pretty accurate. I mean, it just depends on, you know, what direction your storm is moving, you know, how fast. It can be helpful, you know, on a regular, you know, velocity. Ooh, a little something here. Suspicious. That's on that camera there. Not seeing any power flashes on that. Not a whole lot of reflectivity drop in this area where this little signal is, but there was a little velocity couplet there. It's hard to tell. Yeah, it does look suspicious, but it didn't last very long. It's not definite of a signal enough for me to be able to be like, that's a tornado. But it's definitely a suspicious looking signature here. Basically what we have is a little area of velocity, what appears to be a CC drop of some kind, but again, it's pretty subtle. And I mean, we're watching that area of the storm here on this camera, and there's just not really much to note under there. So could be back in the rain though, and we're just not seeing it. And that is also a possibility. I think Brett's stream has gone down again, so let me just remove him. Yeah, it looks like the storm is moving into Tuscaloosa right now. This is what that storm looks like. See, quite the shelf cloud. That rotation on it, thankfully, though, has basically completely dissipated. So we're mainly talking about some, maybe a little bit stronger winds and some heavy rain with this. Not severe thunderstorm warning, though. So we're not talking about like 60 mile per hour plus, but we're could have some potential here for still some gustier winds. Resizing this camera program is a little bit iffy. Do want to keep my eye on this camera, given the fact that we do have a little area of rotation. You see they keep zooming into it. Let me get out of the way because I'm kind of covering the area of interest here. See that? Something back in there. I'm trying to see if there is motion. Right here. Okay, thank you, help. Thank you, Shashlin. I appreciate that. Thank you, thank you. I try my best. And we do good enough. We're even better than an AI. So, you know what? We've made it. Like far north Georgia, no. Not really worried about far north Georgia. That's what it's looking like out there. Still nothing, nothing really to note as dangerous. We do still have some upper level rotation, some decent upper level rotate or mid level rotation on these storms, but they're just not really getting their act together. And we're still watching these storms as well. This is one of the failure modes we were thinking that was possible today, is that these storms struggle to get tall enough to reach into the shear environment. So we got a view of the updraft on one of these storms. From afar, that's the updraft of the Montgomery storm. Thank you, Ellie, for subscribing. Thank you, thank you. Hey, look at there. You can see those cumulonimbus nimbusiles. Cumulonimbus over there. Looks like we're starting to form maybe a little bit of an inflow now on our storm just northeast of Montgomery. But rotation is pretty much non-existent. A little interesting area of rotation developing over here near Goldville. But I'm assuming that that is mainly showing up because we're looking into the mid-levels of the storm. We do have better mid-level rotation with these guys than we do have near the surface. How high are the cloud tops? We can check. I would assume like 40 to 50,000. Yeah, we're a little bit too close to the radar here. We'll look from the Birmingham. Yeah. Looks like we're sitting at around 43 to 44,000 foot cloud tops. So we got a storm trying to develop over here near Alabaster, bringing some heavier rain into the Alabaster area. Let's go check back in on our snowstorm. Believe it or not, folks, it is still snowing. I know it's hard to believe, but it is still snowing here in Aberdeen. Wonder how much snow they've gotten there. Yeah, it looks like Aberdeen has gotten 4.5 inches of snow so far with this. And thank you, Relic, for the €5. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Keeping the lights on. You're in eastern Minnesota. That's coming at me. I'm ready for it. There you go. And we've got blizzard warnings out in some portions of this storm over there near Aberdeen, where we were just looking. And also out over in the UP of Michigan as well. Now we've got to wait till all the youngins leave the chat before we can announce what the highest snowfall amount is so far with this snowstorm. If you are under 20 years old, close your ears, please, just for a moment. But yeah, our highest snowfall amount is in Edgeley, North Dakota, and it is 6.7 inches. Hey, if you're typing in chat, you're not closing your ears. Jeez Louise. Okay, no one listened. Nobody listened. Are there any tornadoes that you missed? No, we haven't had any reports of tornadoes yet today. Our storms have been struggling with our environment. But we are still seeing little areas of rotation trying to develop, like this one over here near Cowaliga. And back down here, just to the east of Jasmine Hill, some very weak rotation there. But we haven't yet seen one actually look concerning enough for a tornado warning. Oops, forgot to turn back on my video camera. My taking mini photos in fast series device. Did you guys know that video doesn't exist? Video is just pictures, but put together really fast. Video is a conspiracy. my volume because I thought it was going to be a naughty word. Thankfully, my homeschooled kids don't know about it. There you go. The benefits of homeschooling. This is a beautiful view here. Look at this. Oop. Kind of the backside of that storm near Montgomery. Yeah, the storm definitely has what you would consider like a really disheveled supercellular shape here. A little bit of an inflow coming into it, but still not really an area of rotation on it. Oh, okay. This is actually a little bit concerning here near Windermere West. We have an area of tighter circulation developing now. Definitely a supercellular structure here heading towards Windermere West. Not strong enough, I don't think, yet to produce a tornado. But the fact that it's tighter circulation and not very broad, need to keep an eye on that. Hopefully it does what all these other storms have done today, which is they get close and then they just die off before they get warned. Do I stream daily? No, I do not. No, if there's nothing really bad going on, I usually don't make any content. But I have a feeling we're going to be posting a little bit more videos. There's another potential snowstorm within the 5-day range now that is still there. So we'll probably be talking about that, maybe even daily. Will tomorrow be a stream? Likely not. I usually don't stream for lake effect snow. Yes, we were just looking at that, K Jammy. We were waiting for the next scan to come in. Yeah, still not in, but we have noted this area of stronger rotation here near Lake Martin. We're keeping an eye on it. I don't think we have any chasers nearby or any cameras, so we're kind of flying blind on this storm. We've got a chaser that's heading into Montgomery right now. So I don't think they'll catch up to this storm. We do have Brett Adair. Like he might have just gone back live. Yeah, he's inside of the storm. That just went near Montgomery, and this is what it looks like. Very rainy, heavy rain with this storm. Not looking overly windy at this point, though. Ah. This camera's freaking out. Jeez. Annoying. There we go. Brett Adair is close. He's close to this storm. I don't think he's going to make it to this storm near Dadeville, but if that storm near Claude tries to do anything. Okay, latest scan, not as concerning over here near Windmire. But a little bit broader. Maybe something popping up here on the correlation coefficient, but it's like one of those signals that it's just too subtle to really be able to tell if that's doing anything. But I would still be keeping an eye on this storm near Lake Martin. And there goes Brett Adair again. Man, he loses connectivity so often. be on the ground. Yeah, it's kind of hard to tell. It's just not a definite enough signature. That could just be leaves. Keep in mind, it's still fall. Still a lot of leaves that can be blown off trees. But yeah, I mean, it's just not a deep enough signature for me to be like, yep, that's a tornado. But you could make the argument that it could be like a super weak one, maybe. What radar do I use? This is WeatherWise. Neck's starting to hurt a little bit. I'm gonna move my pillow up a little bit. Hopefully that helps. Missed a milestone. Let me see. Hey, thank you. Yes, I found it. Thank you, Pam Wild, for being a member for 31 months, saying, keep everyone safe. Happy Thanksgiving. Happy Thanksgiving to you. And thank you for being a member for almost 3 freaking years. My goodness. You have been supporting this channel monthly like crazy. Thank you. Keeping the channel alive. On the top left cam. Yeah, I mean, this is let me see where they're at. Make sure that this is the most updated view. I think they're on the back side of the Montgomery storm.
Trucking with Jeter, thank you for becoming a member.
Yeah, it is crazy that we've been on YouTube for that long and still haven't given up. I remember, I think like one of my first streams ever was like in Utah. I also did fire streams.
So,
Is there a radar right?
after it completes its merge.
Let me check on where their location is. Yeah, it says they're northeast. So yeah, I think they're like out in front or just behind this storm in Montgomery. I think their radar location on their stream is wrong. Let me just make sure I'm not behind on their stream. No? Yeah. Their location is wrong. They're close to that area of the stream there. Okay. So they're like right next to this thing near Hidden Forest. We do have a little bit of a hook starting to form with this storm now. That's still not too much rotation on there. And our storm to the north looks like that rotation is getting even broader now here south of Lake Martin. So not as concerned with that guy. But this storm, at least on radar, is presenting like a storm that is trying to organize its mesocyclone. We should get a view here from Bret Adair in a minute. Because he's going to be like right out in front of this storm, pretty much in perfect position. They're on 231 headed up towards Wetumpka. Yeah. Yeah, they're on this. So they were looking from behind on the storm. That was that view there. And then right here near Hidden Forest, if we're going to see rotation, it's going to pop up there. Fortunately, we're getting pretty close to the radar. Yeah. Yeah, that little area right here. Let me circle it better. South of Hidden Forest really doesn't have much rotation on it. But we'll get a better view with Breadadair and see what if the on the ground view looks a little bit different there. This is coming pretty close to Electric and is going to be going just to the west of Tallahassee. For Montgomery, another round is coming for you guys. Eventually, we have some storms over here near Beatrice and Oak Hill that are trying to organize right now. Not overly concerned with them yet. We haven't really seen much rotation on them, but as they move up to the north and east, they will be going into a little bit better shear. And that might help them rotate a little bit more in the future. Back over here near Tuscaloosa, looks like your guys' storm is coming through the area. Not seeing any dangerous rotation with this storm. And you can see on the top left, that's from Tuscaloosa. It's kind of rainy, nothing too crazy in terms of wind there. Just a little line of storms coming through. Am I hard lined in? What do you mean by that? Is the stream getting interrupted? It shouldn't be getting interrupted. Internet's running fine. It might be like a YouTube problem. So if you're seeing little buffering, just make sure you refresh the stream. As I don't think it's on my end. Figured y'all would be live today. Any severe threat rather low today? Yeah, the severe threat in particular has been pretty much non-existent for almost the entire day. We haven't seen like one severe thunderstorm warning. But we do have a tornado watch out here, watching for a small potential, but a potential for tornadoes. We do have a little merger coming up into our storm. It'll either be deconstructive or constructive. If it's constructive, then that means that it will help the storm out. So we're going to be watching this, how this merger interacts with this guy. And we're also watching these storms back over here near Selma and Camden. But so far, we've had some close calls with rotations, but nothing that has really looked too terrible. Does anybody know where Carmen is? Blondie, do you mind checking to see where Carmen is? It's only been this live so far. Yeah, if anybody in chat is having an issue, they'll say it in chat right now, just so I can see how widespread of a problem it is. If it's just for a couple people, then that just might be their internet and not mine. It looks like Breadadair is in the clear air. Make his thing big here. He does have audio. Let me get out of the way as well. He's right out in front of the storm, so we'll get a good view, at least as best as we can. He's flying this. I think he's flying his drone right now. Oh, hopefully we'll get a view of. Hopefully we'll get a view of that. There's literally a storm chaser on YouTube right now. Their title is Significant Tornado Risk. What?
It is about to get wet, son. I don't want the drone to get wet for this piece of crap, though. how that rain's coming.
This is the drone view from Bred Adair. This is our storm that passed north of Montgomery.
Coming down.
We are literally flying.
Screw all this.
Welcome to Bred Adair Airlines. Make sure that you fasten your seatbelts while we take off and land. We'll be landing in just a moment. Thank you for flying Bred Adair Airlines.
You got time to look at your door. Spinny spin.
Yeah, it seems like it's just a couple of people. Well, significant tornado threat indicates a strong tornado threat, which we don't really have today. Could get a couple of brief tornadoes, though. Maybe seeing a little bit of shear starting to interact with some of these storms a little bit further south in Beatrice. Also keeping an eye back down here near Wiggins. Our shear is not nearly as strong down here, which is why we don't have a tornado watch. But even with smaller shear, you can get a little atmospheric accident. Let's go check back in with our snow, do a little snow update. Here's what it looks like in Aberdeen still. Still very strong winds here, and or at least for a snowstorm. Blizzard conditions are happening still in Aberdeen. We'll go do a radar update as well. This is what our snowstorm looks like. It is now pushing into Clark and Watertown, South Dakota. Clear Lake is going to be after that. Yeah, Clear Lake is going to be after that. And then we are going to be going into parts of Minnesota, western Minnesota. We're talking about areas like Marshall, Pipestone, Granite Falls, Montevideo, Benson, Fergus Falls here. Next with some of this heavier snowfall, and then more on the backside of the storm is where those really strong winds are. Would expect to see some expansion of our blizzard threat if we continue to see that indication from METAR data and radar velocity data that we still have blizzard conditions happening. And this is what it looks like underneath one of the heavier snow bands, but it seems like the heaviest snow band is moving a little bit more to the south and east. You see, we do have one near Lake Gaston. What town is that nearby? Yeah, it's too far to the south. Aberdeen is still our best camera, though we might switch over to some Minnesota traffic cams if we can find any live on the western side of Minnesota. Story time? I don't got no stories right now off the top of my head. Redland, Alabama for Carmen. Okay, thank you. Redland, Alabama. Okay, so he's near this guy right here. The little merger that's coming in. Which is not really doing much to that storm. And our storm to the north near Dadeville has almost lost its, completely lost its rotation there. Maybe seeing a little bit of rotation trying to develop over here east of Brookwood, but not very strong. You want to check our environment. Yeah, we're starting to see a little bit better forcing reach into this area down here near Selma. Let me put my video capture device up here and switch over to this. So our latest mesoscale data is in. Forcing is one of our failure modes today, and it is increasing a little bit down here where some of our more southern storms are south of Selma. These are the ones that are making a close approach, if not go directly over Montgomery. Thermodynamics, got plenty of instability down here. That is not one of our failure modes. In fact, instability is starting to inch up even further north, pretty much directly over Birmingham, the northern extent there. Lower level lapse rates are looking fine for pretty much all the storms we've been watching. They're still in the 6s there. Mid-level lapse rates are still a little bit low in the southern mode, so that failure mode continues to be present. Lower level shear is also decently strong here, 30 to 35 knots, where a lot of the storms that we've been monitoring are located. So yeah, I mean, still looking somewhat favorable. Somewhat favorable. We do still have a couple of failure modes present, which is why we're probably not seeing a tornado outbreak right now, but and all it takes is just one little favorable interaction, you get a tornado, but we'll see. Is a storm heading to Chicago? Just double check on that. I honestly don't know. I feel like no. I feel like you guys could definitely get some big wind in Chicago, or at least, 50 to 60 mile per hour winds, which for non-thunderstorm winds is kind of a lot. Let's see here. 10-meter wind gusts. Yeah, look at that. Heading into the Chicagoland area for the next 18 hours. But 4 a.m., it's really going to get windy there in Chicago. But our total snowfall, no total snowfall measurable at that point. Go to precipitation type, see if you guys might see some snowflakes. Yeah, maybe some snowflakes are possible if the HRRR is right. Yeah, some snowflakes, probably not much accumulation, but definitely some snowflakes and a lot of wind down there in Chicago. Here in central Wisconsin, it's been raining since last night. Snow is supposed to start at 5 a.m. Let's check on that. Yeah. Yeah, for central Wisconsin, yeah, probably sometime between like 5 and 9 a.m. is when that snow is supposed to get started. It's going to start off really heavy and then kind of taper off after that. But you guys are definitely also going to get into some pretty strong winds back there. Talking about anywhere from 50 to almost 60 mile per hour winds. And that's going to last pretty much like it starts in eastern Wisconsin at 1 a.m. tomorrow morning. Heads into mainly it's like central Wisconsin by the time we get to 9 a.m. and then exits out of Wisconsin as we get to 9 p.m. Man, I really hate how I don't have state lines. I don't know why it's just me. I don't know why it's just me. I feel like I'm getting pranked by Radar Omega. I can't turn on my state lines anymore. It's just broken. Which is annoying because I really like using the Radar Omega models. Okay, I'll check that out. Tornado watch expanded to include Chambers, Lee, Macon, and Randolph counties, Alabama, through 6 p.m. Central. How is the weather looking for Sheboygan? It looks like heavier snow by 11 a.m. tomorrow. And you'll see some nice flakes after that. Then it starts to clear out. Looks like you guys might get, let's see here. maybe up to like 1 to 2 inches, according to this. And wind gusts are definitely going to be prevalent, really starting when that precipitation starts to show up. Whether it's rain or snow, that wind's going to be pretty strong. And that lake effect snow there over there in Michigan and over there near Lake Erie and Buffalo are going to be pretty intense. We got another view here from Brett Adair on our storm. This is that storm over here near Montgomery that seems to be kind of falling apart a little bit, but we'll see what the storm looks like from the ground to see if we see anything different. We'll turn on the audio as well, and I'll get out of y'all's way. Thank you, Squid, for the $5. Thank you so much. Is the tornado threat going to remain in Alabama into the evening? No, it will collapse as we get into around 4 to 5 p.m. It'll really start to collapse because our lapse rates, our lower level lapse rates, are supposed to collapse around that time.
Look at the winds going into it. See it looks like it's all trying to wrap back.
It looks like Brett has just stated that the storm is trying to hook up. Not sure with who, but yeah.
Oh, it's because it is.
Looks like he turned off his audio there. But yeah, that's what the storm looks like. Was near Montgomery a little while ago, but now it has moved well out the area. Not really seeing anything too interesting there, thankfully. Nothing to really note. But yeah. No rotation on that storm near Montgomery. Still a little broad circulation over here near Dadeville. Back over here near Tuscaloosa land. Looks like that rain should be slowing down over there in Tuscaloosa as we speak, but that heavy rain is about to start moving into Hueytown, Bessemer, Abernant, Brookwood, Coling here in a little bit. Still no dangerous rotations over there. Back down to the west of Montgomery. We have storms out here, but they are behaving themselves at the moment. They are behaving themselves, thankfully. And yeah. I'm going to go use the restroom really quick. I'll leave you guys with some crazy snow. I'll be right back. We'll be right back, folks, after these messages. Have you ever thought that your dog needs socks? Introducing Chaz Socks, now made out of 100% cotton. Put those socks on your dog and watch him walk around with socks on. Because every dog needs socks, so get your dog some Chaz Socks. Product may randomly explode at any moment. That was the message. That was the sponsor of the video. Yeah. Teasing us with merch we can never have. Exactly. Exactly. You know, I thought I'd give you guys an ad because I said we'd be back after these messages. So I thought I would think of one. First ad read ever on a product that never exists and won't exist. But hey, you can imagine. I'm going to be honest. This is continuing to look very lackluster. Once got some socks for our boxer, but then our youngest, he actually got socks for a dog. Oh, for making noise on the floor. Yeah, I do close my, especially when Chaz's nails get a little long, I definitely close my door to my room when I sleep because he gets up randomly and does random things. I still don't know what he does in the middle of the night. I imagine that he sneaks out of the house and, I don't know, hangs out with like cats and dogs in a secret cat and dog society, but I'm honestly not sure. Just a theory. But his little claws on the wood floor are very, very loud. Looks like Paigey has a view of something. Is it just a cloud? Probably. Looks like they're about to head into Georgia. Drink water and eat. Yeah, he's probably just drinking water. I'm seeing leaves blow around on Brett's stream. Not really sure what's happening. Some wind, I guess. Yeah, just a little bit of wind. It's the most exciting thing that's happened during this stream. 3 leaves flown. And we'll take it. Actually, probably the most exciting thing that's happened is this storm, the snowstorm. Never made her wear them again. Yeah, dogs do not like socks or clothes. Although some dogs will deal with it. But they don't like it. Can I bring my cat to stream? I don't have a cat. You're mistaking me with another streamer. I have no cats named after Culver's food products here. Yeah, still not really seeing anything that's like sticking out to me. Storms are behaving themselves, thankfully, today. When you get back to Poland from America, you got surprised with 70 centimeters of snow. That sounds like a lot. How many centimeters are in an inch? Hmm, 27 inches. That's a lot. Thankfully, it wasn't 170 centimeters because that would have not been cool for you to do to me. Look at the storm near Beatrice. Beatrice. Where's Beatrice? Let me search that. Beatrice, Alabama. This one. Yeah, I mean, it's got something there, but it's impossible to tell if that's near the surface or not, given the fact that we just don't have, unfortunately, a radar there. So I can't really comment on it too much. There is some broad and weak circulation on it right now, though. Hopefully we'll get a better view of it as it gets closer to Montgomery. Can I bring my dog on stream? If he wants to hang out. Sometimes I ask him to come on up. Chazzy, come here. You want to hang out? Want some snuggles? You look stressed. Come here. Chazzy's a little stressed. He doesn't like it when I stream. He was really not happy when we did the Melissa stream. Because he just does what I do. Right? So if I stay up till like 1 p.m. the next day, he stays up until 1 p.m. the next day. If I'm gone from the house, he'll literally just won't eat. Yeah. Not seeing much up. Not seeing much. This is kind of. I mean, these storms are running out of time. We got like 2 to 3 hours less of favorable thermodynamics. Yeah, about 4 hours left, according to our latest RAP analysis or RAP model run. Now we got 8-degree lapse rates in Georgia right now. Thankfully, we don't have any forcing over there, or there would be some big hailers in Georgia. Do I get all the cameras I have? These are from WeatherWise, from a friend of mine, James Spaniel. Is Tallahassee, Alabama under a tornado watch? I think I saw you guys in one. Isn't that near? Let me just double check. Refresh my memory. Or Tallahassee, sorry. Not Tallahassee. Yes, you guys are in a tornado watch, and you actually got a storm just off to your north and east, and it's moving out. You're going to have more behind that, but they're right now looking kind of just like scattered showers. Our forcing, or the part of our storm that was supposed to allow these storms to rise might have left our storm a little early. But I mean, we still have some surface features. We got a surface low pressure, a center of low pressure with a surface feature out over near Tuscaloosa, but that hasn't really helped the tornado threat at all, thankfully. Is this your job or is it just a hobby? It can be both, honestly. Like, I'm not hired by anybody. I do this independently. But you know, like during the winter months, it feels more like a hobby because I'm like rarely ever live. Unless we get a big old snowstorm. Sound? What about it? Sound is pretty cool. Did you miss a Chazzy cam while you were taking out your dog? No. I don't even know what happened to the Chazzy cam. I don't know where that camera went. I had it on my desk, but now it's gone. Oh no, there it is. It's over there. I still have it. Is Brett's camera? Brett is not a tornado. That is a big old rain shaft. A big old shaft of rain. This is that storm that we've been watching for a while. It's been in somewhat favorable kinematics, kind of on the line. And it's hasn't gone severe and it hasn't gone tornado warned, so. Those mid-level lapse rates are doing these storms in, and the lack of forcing too. Both of those together are keeping our storms a little bit too small to tap into the sheer environment that is here. You just saw someone post about Chaz. He can't. Well, they were wanting me to show Chaz, and I asked him to see if he wanted to come on my lap, and he looked at me like I was an idiot. Is today going to be a bust? I would say it's a little bit too early to tell. We still have some decent lower level lapse rates. So I still want to hang out a little bit longer to kind of diagnose these storms, but it definitely seems our fail modes, at least for now, are significant enough to keep our storms from really doing much. So, I mean, by this time, we should have had a, you know, if some of our forecasts, but I mean, we've always known these failure modes were a possibility. I talked about it in this morning's video. A lot of you probably didn't see it because you've been here instead of watching that video. But today has always been very conditional. Oh, right as help said something. Got a new severe thunderstorm warning. And that is with this storm. So that is what Brett Adair was looking at. Oh, yeah. Little downburst signature there. Hey, that might actually be a microburst. I don't think that is like a velocity couplet. We'll see what it looks like as it moves further away from the radar. But it does seem like there's some rotation with this, but it's kind of hard to tell. If we see these reds spread out to the north and these greens spread away, and we start to see some grays in between, that might just be like a little microburst there. But we have a 1-inch hail severe thunderstorm warning on this storm. Our first severe thunderstorm warning of the stream, believe it or not. Heading towards McRitchie Mill, Liberty City, Roxana, Middlebrooks, and James, Granite Hills, and Bottle. What was I going to do? I was going to do something. Oh, that. I see something. Mentioned it earlier. Not sure if I saw it. I did not see it. Did you send me a message on Twitter? No. Sorry, I'm getting my notifications are blowing up for something completely kind of unrelated to this stream on Twitter. Yeah, 1-inch hail potentially coming very close to Simmons Crossroads, also Middlebrook Crossroads. This is an interesting signature here, but I don't think it's overly tornadic, but we will see. It gets a little bit further away. I'm not seeing a debris signature underneath that. Yeah, that might have been a microburst. And how that's different from like a velocity signature, you see how, and like also on Brett's stream, there was like this big old mass of rain that was coming out of that thing. Big old rain shaft. We mentioned it. And then, you know, you see, you know, we get these little radar signatures. Like it looks like it's it's a couplet, but what's happening is we get a big old downburst of wind and that spreads out in either direction. And when you get this signal and then you see the reds push off to the north and the greens push off to the south, that can be indicative of a microburst. Which, by the way, sometimes those winds can get up to 80 to 90 miles per hour, sometimes even higher. So you might have some damage with this microburst. Microburst damage can be pretty similar to a weak tornado. Now I think that was a microburst. What are important products you look on the mesoscale analysis page? I look on a lot of different things. You can tell a lot by a lot of these different things. I like to know where our surface features are. The main things that I clue into is surface-based, mixed layer cape. I like to keep an eye on where our capping inversions are setting up. We don't have any right now that are near like any of our main axes of instability. I also like to look at lower level lapse rates. I think those are pretty important, especially in the southeast, especially in these lower shear environments. And our mid-level lapse rates, you kind of need both of these to be above 6 to really see sustained and widespread severe weather activity. But you can get it technically if you get like a cold pool surge or a little short wave move through with strong shear. You can get some severe winds, or if you get like a big merger. I like to look at the forcing. You know, what are our winds in the 300 millibars doing? Are they moving apart? If they are, you get a little pink circle here, and that shows you how much forcing there is. Latest mesoscale analysis is showing that our forcing might be waning again, which isn't surprising. I also like to look at storm relative velocity. We do have a decent amount of storm relative velocity, around 200 to 300 SRH, which is elevated. And then, you know, for certain events, I keep a close eye on the 3 cape and the vorticity. I keep an eye on a lot of different things because you really do need all of that. I also keep an eye on the lower level shear, the upper level shear. All these little things you do have to check off a lot of check boxes to get a tornado threat. It's not as simple as shear high, cape high, tornado outbreak. It's not that simple. Like Pagey Tornado and Bryce are pulling up onto something. They might be near where that microburst happened. Yeah, they're near Tallahassee.
That's why it's important to have us on the ground. Because not all can always see the radar. And
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah, we have caught probably over 100 tornadoes on stream now. It'd be interesting to know the true count, though. Yeah, that'd be cool. You know, somebody should make it their life project to go through every single one of my streams and put all the tornadoes we have seen in a montage. Tallahassee has a funnel. Who's reporting that? That's just someone in chat saying that. I don't have any confirmation on that. I'll try to find something. See if I can confirm that chat report. I don't want to get one guide. Not seeing anything in at least in Twitter about it. I mean, the storm that would have that person is saying that would have a funnel is right here. And I'm not seeing no funnel. Listen in. Can't listen in. Don't see a funnel, so sounds like an unconfirmed report there. A lot of rain it is. This, if you guys are just now tuning in, the storm might have just produced a microburst, which might have caused some damage over there near real town. You probably won't know many details on that, given it's pretty small city. Like someone on Twitter is saying today's setup is as good as done. I disagree on that. I wouldn't say it's completely done. I think there's still some room for something. Still some room. But I really do think once our lapse rates disappear, that's going to be it. Little update on our severe thunderstorm warning over here in Alabama, here near McRitchie, James, Middlebrook, Crossroads, and Bottle. Still seeing this severe thunderstorm with some capabilities here for wind and hail 60-mile-per-hour winds, as our radar indicated have not been observed yet on the ground, but that could happen. So just be watching out for those severe winds. Back further off to the west, we are continuing to watch these storms west of Fort Deposit. They have been exhibiting some rotation aloft. Can't really tell if that is near the surface or not. Does look like these storms are struggling at the moment. And yeah, I mean, I will say the lack of forcing is definitely apparent. Our upper level trough might have left our storm behind. And if that's the case, we probably won't see a tornado today. Maybe like a brief spin up could be still possible. We'll see. I think it's still fair enough to monitor the storm, just given the fact that we still have a lot of other parameters in place. But all right, let's go check in on our snowstorm. Back over here in Aberdeen, still snowing quite a bit. Thank you, Nick. I appreciate that. People always say it's done when nothing is happening. I actually, you know, the person that said that is respectable, I think, in the weather community. So, you know, would I trust their opinion over mine? No. Could they be right? Yeah, maybe. I think it's a tad bit premature, though. Yeah, that's the snow that's happening in Aberdeen. It does seem like it's getting a little bit less intense. This is what it looks like on radar right now. Heavier snow is now moving into Haiti. Clear Lake will be very soon. Brookings probably within the hour. Look at this from Brett Adair. A little something hanging down our storm here. Maybe it could be a wall cloud. I'm just not sure if there's enough rotation to be able to say that is a wall cloud. Also, we have Pagey Tornado also showing a similar feature. I think Pagey Tornado and Brett Adair are like in the exact same area here.
In Pennsylvania. Yeah, it was just low. Yeah.
This is near my home, yes. I don't think there's going to be any tornado threat. And I don't have, like, I used to have this thing. I used to have this phone mount for my car, but it broke. I couldn't even chase if I wanted to right now. But there's not going to be much of a threat up here. I'm pretty confident that northern Alabama is probably going to miss out on like all of the tornado threat. Maybe could make an argument if the instability can get up here just in time. We could see like a severe storm, but what major weather even do I find the most interesting? I keep going back to Tuscaloosa Bay. Yeah, I mean, I definitely find tornadoes pretty interesting in the moment. I'm not really much of like not really obsessed with tornadoes per se. I don't really look at the history or study that too much. I'm more obsessed with trying to keep people safe. Man, that looks interesting there, doesn't it? Something hanging down on the right side of that. Let me make the radar here. We're pretty close to it, so we're not really seeing the full picture, but that looks interesting. Yeah, I'm not really seeing much rotation there. Looks like Pagey's losing service. She's still kind of got a view of it. All right, put my camera back on. I really need a button that like toggles that on and off. What about if south of Atlanta near the airport? Yeah, I just don't. I think by the time that these storms get there, I mean, there's definitely our strongest wind shears up here, but the thermodynamics really aren't too favorable. We've seen some storms try to rotate, but none of them have been successful. Oh, look at this. Humboldt's waves. Look at that. Kelvin, I think they're called Kelvin Humboldt's waves. Right here. Yeah, they like do a little curlicue there. I don't think we've ever seen those live before. Macalla, okay. I'm not exactly sure of the dynamics that causes those. I can't quite say. I haven't really studied those that much. Helmholtz, okay. What was I gonna do? Oh yeah, Macalla. How do I spell that? These storms are looking a little bit more interesting over here. Yeah, I agree with you. There might be some severe wind here. South of Macalla. And maybe even some severe hail in this storm as well. Yeah, I can see this getting severe warned. Maybe for some hail and some damaging winds as it approaches Bessemer and Indian Springs. Also noticing a couple, like a broad circulation, very weak there, and also weak and broad circulation over here near Hueytown. Still pretty unimpressed with how these storms have been acting, so I'm still not overly concerned about the tornado threat with these right now, but I'm still keeping a close eye on them, just every now and then. But definitely some heavy rain about to come into Birmingham, Vestavia Hills, Fairfield, Hueytown, and Bessemer. And maybe further south of Vestavia Hills could have a severe thunderstorm warning issued there. Yeah, I agree with you on that help. Loganville, Georgia. Looking when it comes to these storms, yeah, everywhere in Georgia, I'm not overly impressed. By the time like some of the best kinematics show up in Georgia, our lower level lapse rates are going to be tanking. Our shear is going to be generally be getting lower, and also our just all of our dynamics will kind of just be a lot less favorable. Yeah, I mean, it's coming away from the radar now, and I'm just not seeing like any rotation. So I think that was just, I don't even think that was much of a wall cloud, to be honest. Just a scuddy lowering beneath the cloud. Severe thunderstorm warning. Hey, good job, help. Luckily, I agreed with him. God, what are we going to do when help joins YouTube? That'll be the time. Maybe when I get old and rankly and tired all the time, we'll just give this channel to help. Yeah, severe thunderstorm warning over here near Fairfield, Bessemer, Birmingham, Vestavia Hills, and Pelham. 1 inch hail, 60-mile-per-hour winds moving off to the east there. So if you guys live in this area, be watching out. Some severe wind and hail is on the way. I think, according to Carmen, he is heading to Birmingham. So we might be able to get a view here from Carmen as he gets into Birmingham. Yeah, a little bit of broad circulation down here. Well, interesting signal there. Probably just some leaves getting blown. I appreciate you answering that very much. Yeah, no problem. We're in Alabaster getting a nice downpour. Yeah. I mean, it is a CC drop, but there's just not really much of a velocity signature there that that concerns me. I mean, there's technically enough reflectivity there if there was a strong velocity signature, but there's just not. So I'm thinking that's more of a either just hail being flung out in front of the storm, or just you know, some leaves with the wind. The severe wind is probably picking up some leaves there. Why are other YouTubers not going live for smaller outbreaks / storms? I mean, this is just, it's not a very dynamic event yet. I mean, I'm sure if we start getting tornado warnings, they will go live. You know, this is my home state. I usually go live regardless when there's tornado watches. And sometimes the beginning of the tornado watches just nothing happens. And, you know, so far, not a whole lot has happened. I mean, these 2 severe thunderstorm warnings have been the most interesting thing we've seen all day. We do have a camera. We'll replace the, I think Tuscaloosa is done for the day. So we're going to replace Tuscaloosa with the Birmingham Tower now, as we do have that severe thunderstorm warning approaching. We'll make it big. This is what that severe thunderstorm looks like as it approaches the Birmingham area. And I'm going to leave it on this for just a minute as I get some water. A nice little view. I don't know why it looks like the sun is setting, because I'm pretty sure it's not. It's only 2 o'clock. Okay, help. Yeah, we saw that. Go live when it's just raining. Usually not. You know, unless there's like a tornado watch, we usually aren't live when it's just raining. But if there's a tornado watch, we will go live most of the times. Unless it's like an unexpected tornado watch in the middle of the night. You want to check in on some of these other storms just to see what they're up to. Yeah, still not a whole lot happening there. Yeah, these winds are pushing now into Birmingham and Vestavia Hills, probably within the next 20 to 30 minutes. The storm back over here is starting to take on that mini supercell looking shape here. Still a Bredadair and Pagey tornado on this storm. I wonder if we'll see a shelf cloud out of that Birmingham storm. Looks like golden hour, but it isn't. Exactly. I don't know. I guess that's just the clouds, you know, making the light a little bit more diffuse. Yeah, but so far, so good. Hopefully we're not jinxing by saying that. I do have a habit of saying that like right before like things randomly start to go crazy. A little bit of a view from Pagey here. Something. They're a nostalgia or Notasluga. Notasulga, Alabama. Then we have a troll in chat. No, that's not them. No, that was not real. That is not real. Yeah, looking at this storm, I'm not really seeing much interesting features on it. That account was created today. That's funny. Oh, wow. Big lightning strike on that Birmingham, Alabama cam. Why is the Florida Panhandle in the tornado risk area? Just in case. I mean, it's not a big risk, but you know, it's a small 2%. You know, there's a pretty large 2% today when you look at the outlook, and it's just in case. You know, the forcing's pretty weak, the shear's pretty weak down here, but you know, you can get like a little storm merger. All right, let's go check out this camera view here from Birmingham. Got a little bit of a lowering there, but I cannot tell if that is just rain or scud.
MCD has been issued for this location.
Rain making scud, not sure. Got a new mesoscale discussion from the National Weather Service.
Saw a nice lightning strike out there. Hear it?
Nickel-sized hail in McCalla, Alabama. All right, thank you.
Oh, there is.
A brief tornado or two remain possible. And a weakening trend can be expected. So storms are going to be peaking in intensity over the next, well, probably right now in the next hour.
Tornado from yesterday was rated EF2. Was it really? Oh, wow.
Winds are weird. See how it's pulling that way?
Yeah. Look at all the leaves flying.
Yeah, if you live in Birmingham and Vestavia Hills, I would certainly at least be indoors and away from windows. We continue to see 60-mile-per-hour winds move into the area here.
See these trees? These bushes here. I don't know.
Still keeping an eye on this storm, not really seeing much of a rotation signature here south and west of James here in Alabama.
I think we have to.
Yeah, and then go around all around the bypass.
All that rising scud.
Well, I'm going to be honest, folks. I mean, we've been on here monitoring this for a couple of hours now, and I'm just not seeing it. I'll come back on live later today if something actually ends up happening, but I think I'm going to take a break. But I do appreciate everybody tuning in. If you're down here, just continue to be weather aware. We still have a tornado watch. But I mean, if this is gonna do something, it's not gonna be until later, I don't think. Maybe we can get some lower level shear pickup, and then we start to see a little bit more of an issue here. But for now, I'm just not really seeing it. But I do really appreciate it. And yeah, I'll be back on if something ends up happening again, but you know, it seems like a pretty low chance. I mean, these storms are just struggling. It seems our failure modes are doing a pretty darn good job at keeping our storms at bay, at least. But what we're going to do, we're going to raid Carmen. So please go over to Carmen and give him some love for letting us use his feed today. Let me get that up here. Give him a like and a sub. He's a new streamer on YouTube and he's trying to grow. And he actually just got sponsored by Radar Omega. He knows his stuff. Oh, wait. He doesn't have redirect privileges on. Shoot. I really wanted to raid Carmen. I'm asking if you can turn on the redirect privileges. So if you guys could just stay tuned for just a little bit longer. What's that on Paige's stream? Let's check it out. Yeah, you can drop his link, but I'd really like to just do a redirect or a raid. If you can go into his chat and also tell him he needs to turn on redirect, that'd be helpful. Yeah, no problem, Sarah. Thankfully, we didn't have to cover much. Just a couple of severe storms. We'll be back on if something else happens, that's for sure. If we actually see some dangerous rotation, we'll be back out. Not seeing anything on Paige's stream. They might have been looking at something earlier. Let me see if he has turned that on. No, he hasn't. Darn it. Yeah. All right. We're going to raid Paigey instead. We'll raid him some other time, unfortunately. He just doesn't have it on. Yeah, thank you guys so much for tuning in. We're going to be raiding Paigey, and you guys have a wonderful rest of your evening. Peace.